Yeah, Man United winning this 7-0. Yeah, easy win. Casemiro's going to score at least 2 headers. It's easy, not a bother.
Hey lads, greetings from a gloomy Brisbane, Australia. I predict that United are going to win 4-0 tonight. I think Hoyland's going to get a brace. Garnacho's grabbing one. And Casemiro's getting the 4th. That's my prediction. So 4-0 United, through to the next round. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is the watch-along. Manchester United versus, well, Newport County, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, what more can we say? It's the FA Cup. There's loads to talk about, loads to get into. I'm joined by Jay Marty. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I am. Well, we're going to get straight into it.
Yeah, well, actually, before we get into this sort of elephant in the room, we will start with the team news because that is out. We've got Bayindir, we're making his first start for Manchester United, so congratulations to him. We've got Martinez. No, don't like him.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Ooh.
Yeah. Bruno Fernandes. Hoyland. Garnacho. Casemiro. Varane. Dalot. Anthony. Shaw. Mainu. And one thing you will notice in that team, Jay, it is exactly the team, pretty much, that I picked to play this game in the preview, except for one man. Anthony has come in for Marcus Rashford, who is not even in the squad, as he's overcoming an officially reported illness.
Yeah.
Now, let's just go back a little bit and sort of present this whole piece before we chat about it, because it's a big story, this. Marcus Rashford was spotted on Wednesday night in Belfast, out and about, in town, looking a little worse for wear potentially, but certainly out in a nightclub or a bar, late into the evening. It was a video, some bloke filmed him. You could see him in the the front of the picture. This is Wednesday night. Then on Friday, the next thing we hear is Rashford wasn't at training on Friday because he's not very well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's 2 days difference. Maybe, you go out Wednesday, bit hungover Thursday. Friday, actually, I picked something up while I was out, whatever, not very well. Okay, maybe a bit of sympathy there. Then we hear yesterday from Laurie Whitwell and I think
Dan Sheldon and Mark Critchley.
Mark Critchley in The Athletic, that they've got evidence that he was actually out in Belfast partying or in a nightclub, whatever, in the early hours of Friday morning, Thursday night, before we hear in the press conference just hours later that he's not very well. He went to training and went home ill or was ill. That is obviously a massive difference, because one thing is going out on your night off and actually you've picked up a bug. The other thing is going out the early hours before training and having to go home because you're not very well or not very well. And then now he's not even in the squad as he continues to recover from his illness. What do you make of this whole situation? Do you think, first of all, there's any chance that this is a coincidence and he went out when he was supposed to, like everyone said, and then he got poorly? Or do you think he's hungover and he's been punished?
I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
For me. And I did the news this morning and spoke about it then, and I'll speak about it again, obviously, because I said I was going to, actually. And people in the comments saying, you need to get into this properly. Listen, I've always liked Marcus. I've always stuck up for Marcus Rashford. I've always, praised him. I think he's a good player, and I think he's been very good for Manchester United over the years. But you can't accept this behaviour. And it does feel like it's just a kick in the teeth for Erik ten Hag, because Erik ten Hag, obviously, what happened with Sancho happened. That's sort of done now, in the sense that Sancho's gone to Dortmund and you can just sort of move on from it. And now he's got this other fire to put out from one of our most senior players. Marcus Rashford's been in the squad since the 2015-16 season. Was that 8 years ago, 9 years ago? He's not a kid. No. He's 26. He knows what he's doing. He knows how it looks, and he knows that basically he's just taking the piss. And it's not all right. And I think that you can't be going out till, 3 a.m, whatever, Friday morning when you're in training on Friday, and then ringing in sick. I mean, you shouldn't be going out anyway, but at least if you go out and then you come in and you train, you can go, all right, look, I've got away with it. Yeah. But if you've not trained, and then I presume, I don't know, I think more will come out about this, but I presume he's told the manager that he was only out on the Wednesday. Because why would the club back him the way they have, unless they thought they could get away with lying for him, which again is just stupid. And then the Athletic, who always do this, do great journalism. We know Laurie, we know Mark, and I know there's another lad, Dan, that I don't know, but from what I read, he's obviously does his own work, have broke the story. And this is another sort of thing as well, in a modern era, if you're out, it'll come out.
Yeah.
Someone will take a picture, someone will know, you're going to get spotted, or something's going to end up being posted somewhere. You're almost sort of like playing with fire if you go out when you shouldn't and then ring in sick. And it's just really, really deflating for me because Marcus isn't having a great season. Let's not kid ourselves. He scored, 4 Premier League goals this season? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Not many. And yet, here we are now in the tail end of January, going into a busy February month. We're chasing top 4. We've still got the possibility of winning the FA Cup. And you've got one of your most important players who's just acting like he can't be bothered and he don't care. And one thing I want to say, and I know it's a sort of basic argument, it's true, from any player at Manchester United, it's not just about your ability and your talent, obviously that comes into it, but you want to see them giving a toss, you want to see them caring, you want to see them putting in the effort. And it just feels to me like Marcus isn't doing that. No. It really does. Now, there might be reasons that we don't know, things going on for him. He might be, struggling with certain things, whatever. But that shouldn't excuse the fact that you're out until the early hours, the day you've got to be in training, and then you ring in sick. No. Or then you say you're too ill to train. It's ridiculous, man. It is. And the problem is as well, Marcus, he's a bit of a divisive character anyway. He's not as popular as you'd expect for an academy player who scored a lot of goals for United. There's a lot of fans who don't rate him. There's a lot of fans who question whether he's good enough. A lot of fans who want to see him sold. Yeah. And I'm not one of them. But those fans that do think that, and those pundits and those, in the media that think that, you're sort of backing him. You're giving them, you're adding fuel to the fire. You're sort of proving their point. That you're not someone who can be relied upon. You're not someone who's going to be consistent enough. You're not someone who even cares. And I think that's harsh because we know the sacrifices that footballers make to get to where they've got to. But people in the comments this morning and when I did the news were saying, I don't know, George Best or whatever, and people like that. And I think that's taken a bit far. But, we're in a modern era now where things get put on social media. Things are going to be out there. Marcus knows that. He probably understands social media better than 99% of footballers. He knew what he was doing. He knew there was always a chance this would come out. And it's almost to me like he just didn't care. And I don't believe for 1 minute that it's a coincidence that he's ill today. I don't. And it's just giving Eric Ten Hag another problem. The big question for me now is what INEOS do. Because Marcus might be thinking, well, this manager's going to be gone in the summer anyway. So even if I do fall out with him, I'll have someone else come in. Like with Ralph Rangnick. Ralph Rangnick didn't really fancy him, did he? No. He knew he was going in the summer. Ten Hag comes in, and one of his first press conferences where we were there for it in Thailand or Australia, sorry, he basically said, Marcus is my guy. Yeah. If Eric Ten Hag stays, he's going to be thinking, I've got a player here who's not really doing what he should be doing for me. If a new manager comes in, he's going to think to himself, I've got a player here who's underperformed for the last 2 managers. Can I rely on him? And that's the thing that Marcus has got to remember. Me and you were just talking it before we got here. Not to mention the England squad. If you're Gareth Southgate, you've got a player who's barely scored all season, and now he's not playing because he's been dropped because he's been out on the lash in Belfast. Yeah, is he going to be one of your guys in a position where you've got lots of other options? No, and it just seems dumb.
The thing as well with this is, like, I really like Marcus Rashford. So I'm not looking for an excuse to bash him or to slag him off or have a go at him. I think he's had a lot of stick over the last few years that is undeserved. And I think that up until this season, he'd essentially had one bad season for United. And a lot of people spoke about him as though he was this failure and a disgrace to the club and all this sort of shit that you see all the time, which was nonsense. But like you said, let's say you've got a new manager coming in the summer, which is possible, and even if it's Ten Hag, now you've got a player who's had 1 good year in 3, who is clearly, like, I get it's not easy to keep up this level of professionalism and dedication every single week when things aren't going well, when some of your mates are leaving the club, when everything's a bit more strict than it used to be. There aren't the wins and the goals and the excitement to make this job as exciting as it once was, or as you would ideally like it to be. But unfortunately, that is one of the sacrifices that comes with earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a week as a professional footballer. You have to do that. And I just think that, all right, you've gone out on Wednesday, you've gone out the next day as well. Get an Airbnb. Get the nicest Airbnb in Belfast and get all your mates around there. Invite whoever you want. Get some, go out in the daytime, have some dinner. Oh, we're going to have a party tonight, come around to our... Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, do that. If you're going out in a public venue, or whatever it is, whether it's some of his mates, his entourage who are speaking to the press, or whether it's people in the public who have seen him, either way, it's shit for him. But that doesn't mean that you get to just take the piss.
No.
And it is taking the piss. Like, United are struggling. You've had 2 weeks off as well, let's not forget. I'm not saying he's not been at work, but he's not had a game to report for and a game to prepare for 2 weeks. And then you choose a Wednesday and Thursday night to go out and, change the opinion potentially of people like me who, up until now, and I'm not, this isn't me saying I'm sick of Marcus Rashford or anything like that, but this does change my opinion of him a little bit. As every action does, like the stuff he did for school dinners changed my opinion in a positive way. Him scoring those goals changed my opinion in a positive way. This changes my opinion of him in a negative way.
Yeah.
And I think you don't need that. I just think it's such a stupid thing for him to do when you're playing as badly as he has done this season, and when you know the knives are out for you anyway, from a lot of people who give him a lot of unjust stick. Now they will use this to justify all of the shit they've been saying for 3 years about how he's crap, how he doesn't work, how he's this, that and the other. Loads of stuff that in the past was false and still is false will now look true because he's proven us all right anyway because look what he's done. I just think it's so stupid from him, and it's so frustrating as well as someone that, I love Marcus Rashford and I want there to be lovable characters at Man United because there's not been a lot of that for the last 10 years.
No.
And part of me as well thinks it's a shame as well we're in an era at United where there isn't a Roy Keane or a Gary Neville or, even a Rio Ferdinand or an Edwin van der Sar or whoever to grab him at training and go, what the fuck are you doing?
Do you know what? That sort of trickles down as well because Roy Keane, when he came, was a young lad. And he had not anything like this, but he had people that there was some senior players that I spoke to who had a word with him at one point about certain things, just like a night out or whatever. Because he had people there that were a good example to him and passed down the attitude of Fergie and everything else. And then Roy Keane became the standard bearer because he had that influence from senior pros.
Yeah.
And then he became a senior pro who made sure the younger players acted a certain way and did certain things. And then some of those players become the senior pros and it carries on. You haven't got that anymore.
Yeah.
Marcus is meant to be one of the senior pros. Marcus should be setting an example to the likes of Garnacho and Palestri and Kumbuala or whoever. He should be like, he should be someone who go, look, this is what you do at Manchester United, this is what's expected of you, this is how you conduct yourself, and this is why we're one of the best clubs in the world. And we don't see that. No. And it pains me to say it, but you look at City or Liverpool even, they don't have these issues.
No.
Jack Grealish is one of the biggest piss cans in football, but he does it when he's allowed to. He does it after they've won trophies.
Do you know something else as well that I do think, and this isn't to take the blame off Marcus Rashford at all, but I do worry a little bit with, let's be honest, this is happening at every club in the country. You give lads in their early to mid to late 20s hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, they're going to go out and get bladdered when they shouldn't. They're going to do this, that and the other when they shouldn't do. Because that's human nature. If I got given that money, I would have struggled to just eat celery and chicken breasts for 15 years in a row and never go out. It's difficult. I do wonder whether the PR side of things from United, and I'm not saying we should hide this so that people don't know. I think that, I'm not saying that, but what I do think a lot of stuff used to happen at Man United that Sir Alex or the PR team or whoever would sweep under the carpet. He's ill, don't worry about it, we'll see you next week, you better sort your shit out, otherwise, I think this sort of situation isn't as rare as it seems, and I almost wish, I know this is slightly counterintuitive, I almost wish we didn't know about it. I almost wish that United had done a better job of getting a lid on this and fixing it and punishing him privately. Obviously he needs to get punished or whatever, but not this whole media circus around things, because it feels like you can't go. We were saying it, when was it, 2 weeks ago? I'm just glad that we're going to have 2 weeks off United news. And yeah, every single, whether it's Jadon Sancho's leaving, whether it's Martial's having 10 weeks out, whether it's Rashford's on the piss, whether it's this, that and the other, we can't go 2 weeks without United having some front page headlines about us. You think, I almost wish that we didn't know about it and they could deal with it privately, but obviously it's too late for that and he needs to be held accountable for what he's done. But I do just think it's just a bit of a piss take, isn't it? It is.
Yeah,
it is just silly.
It's sad and it's
silly.
frustrating as a fan. You want United to be successful. You want our best players playing. You want them available. And also, I know it's probably doesn't matter to a lot of people. You know, both of us stuck up for Marcus and defended him, praised him on numerous occasions. And you're like, even after that thing came out on Wednesday or whatever it was on Friday, it was like been out on a Wednesday. You think, okay, well, if he was allowed to go out, then that's not an issue. Why are people making issue out of something? Well, it wasn't the case. He was out on a Thursday as well, which is basically Friday morning, and he shouldn't have been. No. And it just feels like a bit of a kick in the teeth. And I just wonder now with INEOS what they're thinking about this. Whether they're thinking, you know, we get a new manager in the summer, they might have already decided that, they might be waiting to see what Eric Ten Hag does, or whether they think, look, this club needs a massive overhaul in many ways. I'm not saying you get rid of Marcus, but it needs something needs to change, and maybe we need to stick with this manager and back him and just go, look, we're not just going to get rid of another manager, we're going to stick with him, we're going to let him be the disciplinarian he wants to be, and if you're not up for it, then you're going to have to find another club.
And the thing is as well, like, I don't see that being out of the realm of possibility at all, you know. Like, we've seen teams do that, especially when, you know, like, look at Coutinho at Liverpool. Obviously, he's the classic example that people go to of arguably their best player, or certainly their most, what would be the word, exciting player. Yeah. And yet they went, big money on the table here. Yeah. We can use that money better. He's a very good player. But Coutinho never, ever hit the heights that people thought he would. He never became a €130 million player. No. And I wonder, like you said, if INEOS look at it and go, actually, looking at this from the data perspective, if he has another season like this season, next season, then it's 3 of his last 4 years have been underwhelming. Yeah. And he won't be starting for United, and we won't be able to get 100 million for him. I wonder if that will cross the mind. And I think there's a great player there. I think that, unfortunately for him, he's very much a confidence player, which is tough when you play for a club like United, where confidence isn't, you know, particularly easy to come by. Yeah. But sometimes owners and managers make big statements and big choices, and selling Marcus Rashford for 140 million quid to PSG because they've lost Mbappe is the sort of thing that people do. Yeah. And I do think that this sort of thing is going to help. Let's say INEOS were thinking that anyway, and I'm not saying they were or they should be. If they were thinking that, these sorts of things help grease the wheels of a decision like that in terms of public opinion. And I just don't want that to be the case. I want him to be a success at Man United, and I don't want there to be any excuse for the people who already didn't like him to decide that now he has to go and he's the toxic problem at Man United, because I hope he's not, but obviously we're not in the dressing room and something's got to change.
I mentioned this in the news this morning. You know, when I was a kid, Fergie came in and we had fan favourites. We had players that everyone loved, likes of Norman Whiteside, likes of Paul McGrath, two of the best players in the team, and certainly, you know, best players in the country, to be honest with you. And they couldn't toe the line. They couldn't. And, you know, anyone who's a certain age who saw Paul McGrath will argue he's as good a defender as he's ever seen. And he went on to Villa and won the PFA Player of the Year in his first season there, or certainly the Premier League's first season. Was, you know, a fantastic defender, but he was going out drinking. Fergie wouldn't have it, so he moved him on. Yeah. He had to make those changes, and the club sort of backed him. Now, I'm not saying this is the case and this will happen, but if Eric Ten Hag did say, look, like you've just mentioned there, I think we need to move him on. He's not listening to me. He's not doing what he needs to do. And the club, from a business point of view, thought, okay, let's have some joined up thinking. If we can get 140 million quid for a player who, like you say, if he has one bad season, his value's going to sort of halve, maybe it's the time to take it. Now, I've always worried about two things with Marcus, getting rid of him. One is that I actually rate him, and two, our ability to replace him. I don't have any faith in it, because I look at the right-hand side of the attack and it's been a disaster. We've got, you know, Sancho coming, who's meant to be the saviour. It's not happened for him. Anthony's come in, barely scored any goals. I mean, that could happen again, where you're replacing Marcus with another player who, you know, gets you 3 or 4 goals a year or whatever. I know Marcus isn't exactly setting the world alight, but he has got a lot of goals over the last few years in total. But you can't think like that. If a player's not doing it for you, and he's not listening to you, and he's not performing for you, sooner or later, you have to move him on. You can't just think, we can't move him on because we might not replace him. You have to take that chance. Yeah, that's very sort of defeatist thinking, isn't it? You have to. Yeah. And I don't think we're there yet, but we're not far off. And if United end this season, he's, you know, with nothing, with no trophies, and we don't make top 4, yes, the manager will get a stable. People look at the squad. People will look at the squad, and rightly so, and go, how did this squad that costs so much, that's on so much money, wages-wise, how did it flop so badly? And if Marcus is sitting there on 8 goals or whatever in all competitions, he's going to get the fingers pointed at him, especially if he's been missing games because he's been out in clubs in Belfast. I think someone's been getting in the super chats and dropping, sharing memberships as well, if you can get that up. Did I
Yeah,
say
we've got
gifted
Lee
membership?
W, 5 gifted Stretford Paddock memberships. Thank you very much, Lee, and thank you to the people as well who've got those memberships. Danny Wild says, if Rashford played for City, we'd be mocking him even before going out. He's had 1 in 3 good seasons since his debut. Get him to Paris. Interesting. I think that's harsh. I think he's had 2 bad and 5 good seasons since his debut. That would be how I look at it. But once you start having 2 bad in your last 3, that's when you start looking at, like, you know, let's get to your prime here, Rashford. Let's not go backwards.
Also, as well, if people start questioning your attitude, questioning your application, questioning your effort, which he has had that a little bit anyway, well, a lot, to be honest with you, that's a problem. If people just think you're underperforming or it's not really happening for you or whatever, that is a lot more forgivable than if people think you just can't be asked anymore. Yeah. And that seems to be one of the criticisms levelled at Marcus Rashford. And when you see things like the news we've seen over the last 24 hours, it's hard to defend it and disagree with it. Yeah.
DRZ says there needs to be a serious conversation about how much we value Rashford. Just talking about his off-the-field ideas and intelligence and whether he's someone that, you know, United can rely on. It's just shit, innit? Like, he's the exact sort of person I want to like. And I do like. And I just feel like it's so annoying and sad that someone who you think he's the one, him and Bruno in particular, are the ones that we're going to have this successful team around. And it's almost, and obviously they're part of it, so they're not, you know, devoid of criticism from, you know, the failings of United over the last few years. But you think they deserve to be part of the next successful team at United. He's had a lot of very good seasons, Marcus Rashford. But then you think, and then eventually you get to the point where you think, well, actually, maybe there's a reason he's been in all of these seasons where we've underachieved. And you sort of look at it from both angles. And I don't want to do that. I want to just say, I hope you're still here when we next win a Premier League. You know, that's what I want this story to be with Rashford, not one of, actually, he was one of the reasons why we never did.
Well, no.
That's the issue, isn't it? And I just think, I don't want there to be evidence that suggests that my faith in him has been misplaced over the last sort of 6 or 7 years, because I really like him. And then you just see something, you just think, why are you doing that?
It's all set up for Marcus here to have the sort of the second half of his career, if you will, as a successful one. Yeah. We've got this new part ownership coming in. We've obviously got, I'm not saying this is it, we're going to win loads of titles or anything, but for the first time in 18 years, we look like we're actually doing a bit of forward thinking and having an approach to the football side of things that makes sense. We've been crying out for this, certainly since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, and we've never had it. And now we've got it. And you think, okay, there could be the possibilities here where United start doing a lot better. And you look at other factors as well. City are obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with these 115 charges. We don't know what's going to happen with Pep Guardiola. We don't know what's going to happen whether they're going to have any sort of punishment. Liverpool are about to lose Klopp. They're going to go through a transition. They've also got Salah and Van Dijk coming towards, not the end, but the autumn of their careers. They're both like, I think Van Dijk will be 33 starting next season, Salah 32, even sticks around. So there's an opportunity here where you could go, look, United could, over the next 3 or 4 years, win a title, win 2 titles. That could happen. And you could be a big part of that, Marcus. You could be the guy who helped win the title, return the title to Old Trafford at your boyhood club after a 12-year wait or whatever. Yeah. And you've thrown it away, man. You are. Because, like, Sir Jim Ratcliffe ain't going to care that you know, scored goals against, you know, Arsenal or whatever 2 seasons ago or last season or whatever. And Dave Brailsford or whoever comes in as a sporting director ain't going to go, well, look what he's done years ago or look what he's done in the past. They're going to say, what's he doing now? What's he going to do for me next season? If he's not up to it, move him on.
Do you think we'll see a response from Rashford publicly? Do you think he'll address this? Do you think it's just going to be a kind of, the company line is, he's ill, he's not in the game, he's not at the game, so he's not in the squad, and we move on and that's all we hear of it? Or do we think this is now going to be something that he has to come out and approach and speak about and take back or deny? Or what? How do you see this going over the next few days? Because, sorry to just keep talking.
No, you're right.
Ten Hag's going to get asked about it in these pre-match interviews, almost certainly. And if not, he'll get asked about it in his post-match. The last he spoke about it, the current news at that time was he'd been out on the Wednesday and not the Thursday. It's since that press conference that we've heard, actually, he was out both nights. It's not fair, really, is it, that Ten Hag is having to answer these questions when you've got a 26-year-old bloke who is either neither confirm nor deny them and won't really have to speak on it. How do you see this going?
I think he's damned either way. And I think it's his own fault. I think if he doesn't come out and say anything, he's going to get a lot of stick. And if he does, he's going to get a backlash. People aren't going to go, oh, he's apologised. A lot of people will. Anyway, some might. So I think whichever route he takes, it's not going to go down too well. Part of me feels he might just be better served just not saying anything. Just because I think it might be worse if he says some sort of an apology or explanation.
Yeah.
It might just be better get your head down, get back in the team, and let your I know it's a cliche, but let your football do the talking. He's got to, when he comes back into the team, was the next game, is it Fulham or West Ham, whatever?
I think it's Wolves on Thursday.
Wolves, sorry, I got completely wrong. Wolves. If you are available for that, if you picked and the manager gives you a chance, show up. Yeah. Show us what you're made of, because I think his performances are going to get dissected even more so now. So if he's playing against Wolves and he looks like he can't be bothered, and he's sometimes his body language isn't great. If we see that against Wolves and it's not happening for him, he's going to get pelters. He just needs to turn up, man. He just really does, because regardless of whether you forgive Marcus, for want of a better word, or not for this, we've got a crucial 5 months coming up, whatever it's 3 or 4 months, where we've got to get into the top 4, get into Champions League. We've got a chance to win a trophy, and he needs to be a part of that. He really does, because you're playing for Manchester United, you're earning an extortionate amount of money, and you're meant to care about this club. You're meant to get this club. You better know about this club. You've come through the academy. Everyone says you're a United fan, and I'm sure he is a United fan. You should understand what it means to the fans. You should know how much we care and what we want to see. And also, even if you're just going to be it from a selfish point of view, do you want to play for England? Do you want to play Champions League football next season for United? Or do you just think, I can't be bothered with that either?
No. And also, the other thing we've seen is...
You're not exactly helping yourself.
Sorry, yeah.
The
other thing we've seen is, we think at the minute, like, the options are he comes back in and does well, or and plays, or he gets sold somewhere else. There's also the option that he's just the second choice left winger for the next few years. Yeah. Like Ralph Rangnick did it to him once. Yeah. Like you're not guaranteed to play anywhere. Just if people start getting a sense that you're not someone that can be relied on, maybe in his head he's thinking, well, worst case scenario, I'll get a move to PSG or to Barca or to Real Madrid or whatever, and everything will be okay. You could just stay at United and not get a game, and really feel what it's like to have fucked up. That's also an option, and I don't want it to be this thing like a lot of people agree, and a lot of people getting their opinion across. A couple of people saying, he's made a mistake, let's move on, and I do agree with that to a certain extent. But at the same time, I think when we've seen what's happened with Sancho, when we've seen what's happened with Ronaldo, I know these aren't the same things, and both of those, Sancho in particular, was criticism of his training and all that, but at least he turned up for training.
We've seen this with Marcus already. Was it October? The manager said that he'd been out after the derby, and he said it was unacceptable, and I told him about that. That's after a game.
Yeah.
That's one thing, which isn't great, if you're being honest, but okay. At the very least, it's not necessarily affecting your ability to play football. This obviously is. Yeah. So he's had his warning already. He had it last season when he was late for a team meeting and he was dropped for the Wolves game, and he came off the bench and he scored and he had the right attitude and he said, I was late, I knew the rules and I broke them and I deserved it, sort of thing, paraphrasing. But he said that kind of thing. So he's had all these warnings, and you're right to mention the Sancho thing as well. He knows what this manager's about. He knows how it works. So it's not like he's been victimised.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's just difficult to understand or defend, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. We've got a super chat from Danny. Says, nobody listened to the signs. Jose said, trouble players still here. Ragnick dropped in. Poor form is fine, but lack of effort isn't good enough. Let's move on a little bit then. I think we've covered pretty much everything as far as Marcus Rashford's concerned.
Should we have a look at the Newport team?
Yes, let's have a look at the Newport team.
Too dismissive.
Well, before that, I'll get the Newport team up in just a second. I'd like your thoughts on this United team, because Rashford potentially aside, a team of by India, and obviously he's not first choice, but look at this back four and midfield three, something we've dreamed of all season. Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Mainu, Casemiro, Fernandes. And then obviously you've got Garnacho and Højlund as well, with Anthony on the right-hand side. What do you make of that side? Very strong side, especially those sort of seven of the back four and the midfield three. Pretty much first choice, aren't they? I mean, you could say those seven, Garnacho and Højlund, 9, makes probably 9 of United's first choice 11 for the first time, I think, all season.
It's mad, isn't it, that we've been waiting for these players to play, and they're playing against, is it League 2 opposition?
Yes.
But yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see the spine of that team, because it looks really, really strong.
Yeah.
Højlund's looked sharp in the Premier League. Obviously, he'd already been scoring in the Champions League. hopefully he can. It's not it doesn't mean a lot if he scores against Newport, but hopefully he can just keep that little bit of momentum going.
Yeah.
Just keep getting amongst the goals. We've been crying out for Casemiro to come back. Mainu, I can't say enough good things about Kobbie Mainu. And Lisandro Martinez, I've said this before, is the most important player for Everton tonight. I think he is. I think he's the one that can play out the defence better than anyone else. I think he's a leader on the pitch when we lack leaders. And I just feel we've missed it massively.
Yeah.
So it's all positive vibes, man, to see all these players back. And it's arguably you couldn't get much of a better game to bring them back into. A game where you're playing a team obviously well below you in the football pyramid. So yeah, it's great to see, and we've been crying out for it. I just hope that any sort of rust, anything like that, they can get out of the system today, and then for the Wolves game, obviously stay fit, and we can go there and show Wolves what we're about.
Yeah, I'll go through Newport's team then. So we've got Townsend, Clark, Delaney, Lewis, McLaughlin, Bennett, Morris, Wildig, Charsley, Palmer, Holden, and Evans. Thoughts?
I'll be lying if I said I knew much about any of them.
Right.
To be honest with you, yeah, like you have to respect them because it's an FA Cup tie. They're going to be up for it. Obviously, their fans will be absolutely buzzing. We saw it yesterday with Maidstone. I watched that game, Maidstone versus Ipswich. It's non-league versus Championship. I know there's a lot of difference there, but in terms of the differences in the levels between the two clubs, it's actually quite similar.
Yeah.
And it was at Portman Road. And Maidstone are just obviously having a fantastic FA Cup journey. So you have to show them a little bit of respect. You can't just go into this thinking, oh, we can just turn up and we'll get a win. Especially, you know, it gets to sort of 30, 40 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Then, and we've not scored or it's become difficult, it can become a bit of an issue. But listen, I can be the most pessimistic United fan on the planet. I still think we'll have too much for them.
Yeah, we've got some of the replies to Newport's official tweeting of their own team. One of them is a United fan, or a supposed United fan, saying, come on lads, send Baldy packing. That's the situation United are in at the minute, where some of our fans are hoping we lose this game, so the manager's going to get sacked. Connor Lynn says, in your opinion, Jay and Joe, what position do you think we need to sign first when getting the next player in on a permanent deal? An attacker. We need a striker. We can't just have Rasmus Højlund. Like, if Højlund gets injured now, which is obviously very possible, what are we doing? Who are we playing? Rashford, who knows what's going on there. Martial's out for 10 weeks. Genuinely, if Højlund gets injured, let's say he pulls his calf and he's out for a month, what are we doing for that month? We've got nothing. Genuinely no other option. So it has to, I don't think there's any other option except a striker. We've got Charlie McNeil, of course. Yeah, people in the comments, Kez saying McNeil. But, you know, no offence to Charlie McNeil, he's never really played for the first team. So the idea of bringing him in to play against Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Tottenham, all these teams in the second half of the season is unfair on him. And obviously, the manager doesn't think that's particularly helpful for Man United either. Like, you got to be honest, he's not even in the squads. So it wouldn't be right for him anyway, would it? You know, you've got to play every week because Højlund's injured. Just, we don't need to be in that position, to me.
No, it's really worrying, isn't it? To be honest with you, because like you say, the lack of options we've got, and this is another. I don't keep going back to it. This is a frustrating thing about what Rashford's done because we're so threadbare in attack. You've got a 20-year-old who's getting run into the ground, and we've already seen that this season where he wasn't fully fit when we got him. There was times when he was playing and there was talk that maybe he wasn't 100%, and we were trying to get him match fit, and then picks up another couple of knocks, and it's all connected, isn't it? If you're not 100% and you keep playing, you're going to aggravate certain things. You look at the other options you mentioned. I think Hugo's gone out on loan. Charlie McNeil, who I think he was at Newport 1A. I like Charlie McNeil. He's a great young lad, but he's not. I don't think he's ready to start for Manchester United, certainly in the Premier League. So what are your other options? Playing players out of position, having to mix it up like that. Of all the times for this to happen with Rashford and what he's done during his time at United, this is probably the worst time. Because he's always had at least two strikers in front of him, or maybe not even in front of him, but there's other options. And now we're at a position where we've got one out-and-out striker. So I don't even think Marcus is an out-and-out striker, if I'm being brutally honest. And that's it. Yeah. And then the other player who can play down the middle, who Eric Ten Hag has mentioned as being an option, isn't available for the reasons we've discussed. It's just really annoying and frustrating. It
is. I've got a quote from Eric Ten Hag, who's been talking before the game, commenting on United's strong lineup. He says, in every competition we're in, we want to win. We're not in a moment where we can underestimate anyone. We said the same during the preview, didn't we? Like, There's no reason for United to rest players for this game. We're not good enough. This is the only competition we can win. Yes, you want to do well in the Premier League. Potentially, if we had a great end to the season, could scrape top 4. But the idea of winning an FA Cup shouldn't really get in the way of United trying to get top 4. We need to be playing the full strength team in every competition, I think. And Ten Hag, by the sound of it, agrees with that. I mean, looking at this game then, United, if we win, we'll play. It's Nottingham Forest. I had it up here before. Was it Nottingham Forest or Bristol City?
Yeah.
If United win.
Yeah.
Another, let's say, winnable game.
Yeah.
I mean, every game's winnable. You would hope so, but a quite favourable game in the bottom half Premier League, or I think Bristol City are in the Championship, aren't they? This is a big chance now because you win that, all of a sudden you're in the quarter final.
Yeah.
How highly and how heavily do you regard the FA Cup for the rest of the season?
Massive. I even think it might save him even if we don't get top 4 or Champions League football if 5th ends up being that. I think if we win the FA Cup, that might be enough for Erik ten Hag. I know it wasn't for Louis van Gaal, but Louis van Gaal, I think we're going to hear from Erik ten Hag as well. If we can get some volume, possible. So what? He's going to get asked in here. Sorry, we're just listening now.
Yeah, talking about the questions about Rashford. Internal matter, I deal with it. That's all he said. And repeated, internal matter.
Internal matter 3 times.
So he asked if it was on he was asked if it was on a disciplinary grounds that he's not playing today, and he just repeated internal matter. I mean, he's not confirmed it, but to me that feels as though
100%.
Because if he's ill, you go, it's nonsense. He's ill.
He's ill. He's not well. End of. But he's not. And Erik ten Hag shouldn't have to deal with the same question 3 times and come out of this, and then just give all these people who hate United, who want to see Erik ten Hag fail, who hate Marcus Rashford, just give them all fuel. Like, you've helped him, because now they can all spend the next, month talking about what shambles United are.
Yeah,
it's just a joke, man. I actually feel sorry for Erik ten Hag having to deal with this. You might question him sometimes, and certainly I've questioned certain aspects of his tactics, and some of the performances I've seen aren't good enough. But I don't blame him for this. It's just players that should know better taking the piss. It is. Yeah. Let's just be honest. And now he's got another headache that he's got to deal with. It's not enough that you've got to try and turn this season around and try and get us into the Champions League and try and win trophies. You've now got senior members of your squad going out on the piss in Belfast, basically the morning of training. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It is just stupid, that, isn't it?
It
it's
is,
proper
man.
Like old school 90s style professional footballer, getting bladdered hours before training.
Yeah, like...
And I say getting bladdered. We don't know.
I don't know. He might not even
going out.
Yeah, going out. And also, if you're going to do that, right? If you're going to do all those things, you get away with it by going into training. You get away with it. You go into training, and you'll get away with it. You turn up for training and you train. It's not an issue, or it doesn't become an issue. When you can't train, or you're too ill to train, or whatever, then it becomes an issue.
Yeah,
that's just. Yeah, that's the most disappointing thing about it for me. I think, have we got Angelina Kelly here? Should we get Ange on before the game kicks off? Ange, you got to swap with me? Yeah. So we gave Joey single.
Yeah, so we've got a super chat from Joshua Bowater, who says, with the manager into the last 18 months of his contract, do you think we can keep him into next season without extending, or does that send a bad message? People asking about the manager. Do you think we'll keep him into his last season of his contract, or do you think it sends a bad message to have a manager dwindling down on his contract? I mean, I think he'd be not lucky, but I think he'd happily take being in his last year of his contract to still be here.
Sorry, can you just repeat about that, because I was getting sat down.
It's okay. He's asking if he thinks it's a bad look to have a manager in the last year of their contract without extending him. Do you think that sends a bad sign out?
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right.
I think there's a lot of different reasons for why things like that happen. I think with the changes that are going on, I wouldn't dwell too much on something like that, to be honest.
Right. Okay. Looking at the team, looking at the Rashford situation, just give me your thoughts on that, because we were chatting a little bit about it before we went live, weren't we? And I know you weren't hugely happy with what's gone on.
No.
Do you see Ten Hag now responding there? It's an internal matter, just repeating the same line over
His
and over again.
His face said it all, didn't it? Yeah. His face absolutely said it all. The internal matter 3 times. If it was an injury or if it was something else, you would have known. I think it's pretty obvious. He's made it obvious by saying that, and it's just so disappointing. Like you guys were touching on, he should know better. Like, everybody makes mistakes, everybody messes up, but how many chances are we going to give him regarding this topic? You know, he did it after the City loss.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of let him off, it's after a game, it was a terrible game, maybe you just wanted to go and blow off some steam, but you've had time off.
Yeah.
You know what's coming up. I don't care who we're playing. At the end of the day, it's an FA Cup game and it is crucial that we win. You saw what happened to Ipswich. I'm not saying that we're the same as Ipswich, but, a team that are up for it, 2 chances, 2 goals, that was it.
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag should be able to have the option of whatever players he wants, and we shouldn't not have a player because he's been in Belfast, whether he's been drinking or not, I don't care. I just think it's really, by this point, you need to be more switched on to these types of things. I just think it's really disappointing. I'm still kind of, I've been thinking it over and over. Is there a way that this has been, is a narrative been created here that's not true, or maybe there's something, or trying and hoping that maybe somehow we've got it wrong, but the writing's on the wall. The article from Laurie and everybody kind of says it all, and the Wednesday night's one thing, but the Thursday night as well, you know what you're doing, do better.
Jay was saying as well, he almost sort of wished it wasn't the Athletic, because if it's someone who was less reputable, you could sort of blow it off and sort of take Rashford's side out of principle almost. But with it being the Athletic and Laurie and Mark Critchley and Dan Sheldon and
I think as soon as I saw that,
this happened.
1000%. As soon as I saw that article, I thought this is game over. And I always like to back Marcus Rashford for many different reasons, but Eric Ten Hag needs to deal with this, and I hope that he treats this. From the look on his face, I think he's going to treat this very seriously. And whatever becomes of Marcus Rashford after this, whether it's a ban, whether it's whatever, the way things are looking at the minute, he deserves it.
Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it? It's just sad. Anyway, looking at the team, obviously it's on the screen there.
Yeah.
Other than Rashford and obviously Onana, assuming he is United's first choice keeper, because I almost want to talk about that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
But other than those two, full strength side. First time we've had that backline start a game this season, I think, or certainly one of the first.
Yep.
First time we've had Casemiro, Mainu and Bruno start a game this season as well. Much more promising in terms of, I think it's basically Mason Mount, I think, obviously Rashford now, but I think Mount's the only sort of senior top player, and Martial obviously, who are out at this point. It's actually a lot better for United, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to see some names come up that you're like, oh, thank God, like we're getting back on track. I think that back four, seeing them play will be really good, them getting some minutes. I think the Casemiro and Mainu situation will also be nice to see. I think you don't treat this, I'm not saying you treat this as like a trial game or something, because it's an important game and we need to win it and you need to give Newport the respect, but you would like to think that this is a game where we can maybe be a little bit more relaxed. You would like to think that we will be in control of this game and we can see how those players work together, and for them to, just get some much needed minutes under their belt. So yeah, very happy with the team. And I just hope that everything runs smoothly, because nowadays you question sometimes if it is.
I know, it's just so annoying. I know obviously every club has this and United get more attention because it's who we are and all that. Of course. And you do hear rumours of other players and other teams and people going out and getting drunk or this, that and the other. You do hear it.
Of course.
And we don't focus on it as much because it's not United, but it just feels like, I just wish that we could have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks,
Just no drama.
With no drama.
Every week there's something.
The fact that half the squad's been injured all season, you think that would be enough drama, wouldn't you? And instead we've got
to throw some more drama out there. Yeah, no, very, very frustrating. But yeah, hopefully this will be a good game. And yeah, like I say, Newport do deserve the respect. Massive game for them, great day for them, and experience for them. And their manager, who's a Man United fan, allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly. J.E. Frasconi with a super chat says, "Gents, the fact Rashford gets away with murder, I do not think it's coincidence. He's been here through all the managerial casualties. He's the embodiment of outsized player power at MUFC." I mean, getting away with murder, I think is a strong phrase. I think he's, occasionally done things where you go, oh, that's a bit stupid. I don't think he's got away with murder.
I don't think he's
obviously not literally. I don't think metaphorically he has.
He's made a couple of mistakes that we're all aware of, but I don't think from the 2015-16 season when he came in, it's not like every season there's been like a incident to the level of this one or something.
Yeah.
And I think you do have to give people, especially when they're young and coming through, as much as you're playing for Manchester United, you're earning a certain amount of money and you should understand what's expected of you. People are still young and people are still going to make mistakes. I don't necessarily look at Rashford always and think he's the issue at the club. I'm not going to start going down that route at all because, we've had issues with other players over the years. But yeah, no, I don't think it's been that bad from him. No. I don't think it's been like, catastrophic every single season, because there's been some seasons where he's been absolutely phenomenal for us. So
Arush says, where's Wan-Bissaka? Prefer him to Dalot. I didn't actually clock whether he's on the subs bench. Probably should have read that out actually. United subs bench. Let me try and find it quickly. I know in terms of attackers it's very, very thin, but I didn't notice whether Wan-Bissaka was on the bench or not. So the bench is Heaton, Evans, Kambwala, Maguire, Ahmad, Eriksson, Forson, McTominay and Pellistri. So no Wan-Bissaka. But wasn't Wan-Bissaka, was he out for the Spurs game as well? Did he play in that game?
I don't know,
Oh, he played at left back, he did. I'm sure there's been some mention of him being injured.
Yeah.
But I don't see it anywhere. So I don't know is the answer to that question.
He wasn't in Belfast.
Yeah, he wasn't in Belfast apparently. No one saw
Allegedly.
him anyway. Yeah, if anyone knows where Aaron Wan-Bissaka is, let us know. Yeah, he played against Spurs. Sorry about that. I'm sure we heard some rumour of him being injured. Did I read that in the last couple of weeks, or have I just made that up? I'm not sure. People in the comments it's all just talk about Rashford. Yeah. It's all Rashford.
You can understand and you can get why people are frustrated. We're all frustrated by it. I think not even frustrated, I just feel let down.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. You just feel let down as to why has this happened? What genuinely is the thought process behind this? Because you know it's not going to end well. No. And whilst people maybe could have got away with this, 20 years ago or whatever, you've got to use your head in these situations. Yeah. Everyone's got a phone. And if you wanted to, and I think like you touched on it, if you want to, go to Belfast for a day and hang out with your friends and, enjoy yourself, fair enough. But just rent somewhere, book out a bar or something, or just use your head a bit more.
Yeah. I just think, you think what's gone into that decision-making process, it makes me think two things. Either one, Rashford and probably others do it all the time and usually don't get caught because they do X, Y and Z. They get snuck in through the back. There's this VIP room, whatever. This happens a lot and usually they don't get caught. Or two, he thought, I know that when you do this you get caught, but fuck it. And they're both worrying, but the second one of like, I don't really care if they find out. That is really bad. Because also he's also then gone to training or turned up for training and not been able to train because he's ill. Yeah. So it's not like he's done it and got away with it because I always do it. He's unable to play football afterwards for one reason or another. So it couldn't have gone any worse, really, could it? It's not like snuck a pint in. And he can't play.
Yeah, and that's where I think, has he actually done what you said and just thought, I don't care? Because at the end of the day, if you're used to going out and you're used to being able to, get out, the back exit or whatever, then fair enough, you do that where you can do it. People that go out in Manchester, there are many bars and clubs that do treat players with a certain level of respect, and there are exit doors, and people in Manchester will know that go out to certain places. So do it where you're going to be protected if you're desperate to go out, not to Belfast. Very strange destination to try and to mess about like that. When you don't know the lay of the land and you don't know what's going to happen, and it does make you think: has he actually just thought, oh, you know what, I can get away with it, who cares? Maybe he thought he'll go for the Wednesday because that was okay, it was a day off. Yeah. And then he's just thought, oh no, I want to stay, I'll just carry on till Thursday, it'll be all right. As long as I get back to Manchester, I'll be okay. And then he's got back and he's not in the best state, clearly.
Yeah. It's interesting that this thing as well of United sort of released a statement a couple hours ago. I say statement, it's literally a sentence. Marcus Rashford not well enough to be in the squad for Newport following illness. He stayed at Carrington to train as he recovers. You think, what training are you doing if you're that ill?
Yeah.
What's he doing? A little bit of Lucozade energy to the mouth.
They're going on a drip or something.
Yeah, what is the training that when you're dead ill?
Those hangover tablets that you can see in Superdrug and stuff, they've just given him a few of those and
just put him in a full Barocca bath.
And
hopefully it absorbs through the skin.
But that's right, you can poke holes even in that sentence, because if somebody is so ill that they cannot play, you would assume that they would be at home recuperating. But then I guess if they'd have said he's resting, they'd have, people still would have poked holes in it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would love to see if someone can, I don't know, send a drone over Carrington or something to see if he's actually training. Is his car there? Is he actually training? Or is he curled up in a ball in bed regretting his decisions? I don't know.
And also, the other point is, alcohol and the consumption of alcohol isn't proven to make athletes' career longer, is it?
No.
Like, I'm not saying that if you ever have a drink, you're going to retire at 32, but the idea of getting pissed, or let's say, I don't know if he's got pissed, going out, and the rumours of obviously being why would you be in a nightclub if there's no alcohol involved?
Yeah.
It isn't something that makes players last into their 40s or late 30s. You just think of the ramifications of this, even just selfishly.
Yeah. Late nights, partying, if he's drinking as well. It's just not a good combination. And that's when you start to get into the debate with footballers of, you're being paid all this money. You are literally, I know things aren't great at United at the minute, but you're literally living the dream. We've all been there. We've all wanted to go out. I'm sure it is difficult when you're young, when all your mates are going out and you've kind of got to be sensible. But for the gains that you get from it, how's that not worth it? That's where I start to get annoyed. How is this not worth it? I know United's a bit crap at the minute, but how is it not worth it to want to represent your boyhood club, represent England? All you've got to do is rein it in. You can still socialise, you can still go out, but just have a bit of sense.
Yeah.
And that's where it makes me angry, that.
Ever heard of J2O?
Yeah.
Ever heard of lime and soda, mate?
That's it.
Ever heard of just stay in, watch a film with some
sparkling
popcorn,
water with a bit of lime.
Perrier.
Yes.
Don't have to be on the.
But even nowadays,
margaritas.
They're doing 0% like 0% alcohol, the gin, wines, all sorts. You can still feel it, beers, you name it.
0% Guinness. I love it.
Thank you.
Have
Exactly.
a few of them.
It is good, yeah.
Conor Barry, read a book for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whatever happened to that?
Well, he wrote some
Do you know what I
books,
mean?
didn't he? Go write some more.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be reading Canterbury Tales. And instead,
Wuthering Heights.
you're out in Belfast.
Yeah.
Doing who knows what. Unbelievable. Right, we've got 8 minutes till kick-off. Get your score predictions in. This is a weird one because I think we'll win. And
Yes.
I predicted 6-0 in the preview.
Ooh.
But I didn't. Now, we've got another sort of civil unrest situation at the club where you think almost the more we score, was it the players trying to say we don't need Rashford? I just hate being a United fan. It's absolutely crap, isn't it?
You don't know which way to turn. You feel like you're being tripped up at every different angle, don't you?
Yes, exactly. I'll save my prediction just because I don't want to jump in and go first. And what are you thinking prediction-wise?
I'm going to go with a 4-0.
4-0.
I'm going to go with a 4-0. I would like that. That would make me very happy. I would just like to see Højlund have a really good game because he needs more goals. So that's the key for me, to see him playing well, to see Manu and Casemiro linking up well. Hopefully our goalkeeper doesn't have a mare because this is a great opportunity for him. Massive opportunity. I get it's against Newport and you would assume that our second goalkeeper can handle that, but big opportunity for him, so I hope he has a good game as well. So I'll go 4-0.
4-0. Ross Murphy says 2-0 Man United. SG says got to be 5 or 6. Looking for Knee says 3-0. Wayne Flynn 3-1. James Stewart says 7-0 United. Casey says 3-0. Kenzie says 5-2. I think I'm going to rethink my initial suggestion because of these goings on.
Okay.
I think it's going to be more difficult than we think, and I think it will be somewhere in the region of a 2-0 win.
Okay.
Maybe a slightly frustrating 2-0 win, but I'll go with a 2-0 win.
Yeah.
Just talking about Onana and that situation there. So he missed the first game of the African Cup of Nations.
Oh, he had a travel mare, didn't he?
He's had a nightmare.
He had an absolute travel nightmare.
Yeah, he missed the first game to stay and play against Spurs.
Yeah.
A game that, actually, in fairness, I don't think he had a bad game.
No.
We got a draw. It was sort of a weird draw where we've both taken the same amount of points out of the game, but everyone was praising the crap out of Tottenham and hammering United for it, which is slightly odd. But I understood it. Then he goes and plays in the second game of the group stages for Cameroon, doesn't make a save, they lose the game, and then he's dropped for the third game, they qualified, drop for the fourth game, they're out. So they're already like, he played one game, lost, has fallen out or continued to fall out apparently with Samuel Eto'o, who I think is very, very high. I don't know his exact title. Very, very high up in the Cameroonian sort of setup.
Yep.
Falling out with him, is clearly not even first choice keeper anymore, despite playing in the Champions League final 6 months ago. Has continued this thing of not playing very well.
Yeah.
He's having
a
probably the
nightmare.
worst season of his career, isn't it? It must be
100%.
Yeah.
I think if you go back to that Champions League final night and you were to say to him in less than a year's time, this is the situation you're going to be in,
Yeah.
I think he would have laughed at people.
Yeah.
I have always tried to back Onana because I understand why they bought him. I know that there's been a lot of talk about him as a goalkeeper for the last couple of seasons, just in general across European football. So I was excited when he came.
Yeah.
I've always tried to see the best in him. When De Gea came, he had an absolute nightmare his first
Yeah, he
season.
did.
He was getting, hit left and
It was
right
like
by
this,
the media,
really, wasn't it?
everything.
Like we've seen from Onana in the
Yeah.
Champions League and stuff like that.
So I'm going to stick with him in that, you've always got that faith that he's going to come good, and he does have some really good moments. He has some very annoying moments as well. But it just, for his morale, I just think if he comes back into the United team and he has a really good, spell, this guy has got some mentality that he's very, very strong-minded to be able to keep brushing this off. I mean, for United, people are looking at you, people are side-eyeing you, people are questioning you. Then you go to your national team and you think, you know what, have a few games for the national
Get away
team.
from it all.
Yeah, get away from it all almost. In that, I don't think anybody was expecting them to be winning AFCON, but to just have a good run, and then all of that's happened as well. Yeah. It's just, very frustrating for him. I do feel bad for him, and I just hope that he can push through, and we'll see what the goalkeeper does today as well.
Yeah, Bruno obviously at the front of the line there, captain of United. I was looking the other day, we've talked about his longevity and his lack of injuries before. I think in his career, he's played something like 540 games or 520 games. He's missed through injury, including the international games, 4. Insane, isn't it? How insane is that? And the 2 that he's missed for his club, so he's missed 1 game through injury for United, and he's missed 1 game for Sporting through injury. They were both illness, so they weren't even like
a hamstring,
a muscle or an injury. It was like, I'm not very well. Like in his career, through sort of muscle or physical related illness, injury, he's missed 2 games out of 540.
And
That's
people will still find
astonishing,
something to moan about, won't they?
Yeah, one of the most, because it was off the back of, I think, Inaki Williams, who plays for Athletic Bilbao, played something like 250 games in a row for him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Bruno's can't be far off that. It's astonishing record, isn't it?
Insane. And you know what I will say, the Wigan game when Roberto Martinez on the TV was one of the pundits, the way that he spoke about him, it was nice to see him getting, some praise that he really does deserve.
Yeah.
And the way that he was speaking about him, you can tell that whatever people might think about him, people get frustrated with him, he really is a true professional. And those numbers, speak for themselves, don't they?
And you look as well, in terms of his numbers, since he went back to, I say back to Sporting, he wasn't in Sporting, but since he went to Portugal, he's played 56, these are appearances per season, 56, 53, 50, 58, 46, 59. Like, he's not like he's playing 45 games a season, he's playing 50 odd, 55, averaging 55, 56 games a season, every season, and never getting injured. I mean, he's one of the most impressive physical specimen. I know he's not like muscular, but just in terms of his durability.
Whoever his team are, I want to meet them.
It's just genetic. It's got to just be genetics.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah.
The game's about to kick off. We're going to get Jay back on in just a second. We'll have you on at half time as well. Actually, we'll nip over to you every so often.
Over.
So you and Andy there.
Sorry, we said half time. So we can hear
what are you eating?
I meant producer Alexis
giving.
Social media coverage.
Social media. Thank you very much for coming on, Ange. No Jay problem. With a gob full of mint Imperials comes back to the shop. Hello, Your Honour. What you got? What? Who do you think you want with your mint Imperials?
Not a mint Imperial.
What is it? What's that?
It's a 3-ball finger mint.
How is it? You all right? Chuckers, wasn't it?
Can we?
Only been going for 26 minutes. We've not had time to get the scoreline or the ticker started, but we will do. It's been all hands on, laps, hasn't it, for the last 25 minutes, because there's fuck all you can do when the internet doesn't work.
Also, can I just put this out there?
Go on.
As well. If we are just going to start randomly blaming producers, I think producer Ollie is as good a target.
That's true, because people know Ethan's name more, so they blame him. But I think it should be the blame is not on either of them, but it should be 50-50.
It should be 50-50. If you want to blame either of them, then try and mix it up a bit. We're all about inclusion on this channel.
Yes. Right, Manchester United. But I mean, it's annoying that we've chosen this game. I say we've chosen, that our internet provider have chosen this game to fuck us over, because we were actually 2 goals up after about 15 minutes, Jay.
I know.
What do you make of that?
Amazing. And I've still not seen Kobbie Mainoo's goal, which I'm gutted about.
Would you like me to show it you now?
We'll see his first goal for the Reds. I did see Alejandro Garnacho hit the bar and Bruno Fernandes losing his marbles with him.
Losing his S.
Yeah, but I mean, in control of the game, as you'd expect.
So
just having a little look. I'm watching Kobbie Mainoo's goal there for the first time.
So I think that's Luke Shaw there. Ball out to Anthony on the right, who actually does fine.
Yeah.
Good overlap from Dallo.
Nice little step over there.
Cheeky. It's a lovely
finish.
Just
there you go.
passes it into the bottom corner.
Kobbie Mainoo has goals to his game, then he'll be literally the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
Hey up.
Oh, Anthony.
Anthony at least, I thought he was going to score then, but obviously not.
Could we get a bit of volume, please, producers?
He's destined to never hit the target, that lad, isn't he? His shot was blocked.
He got an assist, though, for Bruno Fernandes.
Nah, he did, yeah.
So you can't say he hasn't had a goal or assist.
Do you know what I love
season.
about that, right?
What?
In this game, yeah, if you get a goal or an assist and people don't like it, they'll say things like, I saw it on Twitter, like, he's found his level. Yeah. Like, he can't win.
Shut up. Also, one of the reasons why Haaland got so many goals last season is because City just play everyone easy. Actually, it's annoying because the annoying thing about that is it wasn't United in '99 difficult, but they did have quite a difficult run in almost all competitions, City, last season. So we can't even give them the classic. He played Mönchengladbach in the final of the Champions League like they normally do.
Play him in.
Square it.
Oh, he should have squared it there.
Anthony.
Oh, Anthony, Jesus Christ.
That was a bad touch, by the way. He made that look like it was a pass. I think that was a bad touch there for Anthony.
Yeah, it was, and that's
a bad touch.
It's a frustrating guy, man.
Anthony.
Yeah,
he is.
I know. Like, I can't criticise him for getting an assist, obviously.
No.
But I'm not just going to start changing my opinion on him because of what's going on against Newport. I just think he's a frustrating player to watch. Whether you like him or not, he's incredibly frustrating.
Was that in the middle there? Great run. Was it Hoyland?
Yeah, if I was Hoyland, I'd be ripping my hair out.
See there, Garnacho, he's took it too far at this point. If he looks up...
that's a bad touch.
It's a bad touch. If he looks up, he can square the ball across there. It's not an easy cross, but it's one that if you get it right, we've scored.
Yeah.
He should have looked up and
then that's it,
that.
Innit? That kills. It's all over.
It should be all over already.
It should be, to be fair.
3-0 is massively different to 2-0,
it's just done, innit? Like, they're already thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a cricket score. Let's just try and keep it reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
United just can start, relaxing a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. 2-0 up. How are you feeling? Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is nice.
It's like I said before kick-off. Like, this is like one of those games where you can't win. Like, even if you batter them, people just go, well, it's only League Two. Yeah. And if you don't batter them, people go, why have you not battered them in League Two? So against Wigan, I know Wigan are obviously a little bit better than Newport, but we won comfortably. It was 2-0. There was no drama, but people were still having a dig, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I want this game, I said this in a preview we did for another channel, but I want this game to be so one-sided.
Yeah.
And I want there to be like an inquiry afterwards as to why United didn't stop. Like, I want it to be 17, 20, 13, like one of those just disgusting under-14s win 150-0 against opposition. Yeah. And people are like, it's disgusting. No sport. I want that. I want us to score so many goals that people are calling us out for being rude. That's what I want. None of this 2-0
like
and sit-back
was
shit.
It America? The American women? Who was it they played?
They scored like 35 goals.
Yeah, and they celebrated everyone like it was the match-winning one.
I fucking love that. That's what I want us to do. I want us to do that in every game. Play smart, though. Don't look silly.
Mate,
he just chipped it.
Honestly. I've never seen anything like it.
Good to see Mainoo get a goal, though, isn't it? Even if it's Newport, it's still
But yeah, like
His
listen,
first senior goal.
he'll remember that forever, won't we?
Yeah.
And we know how he's one of those players where you're not worried about him, are you? You're not
No.
like he's just. I think we're already in the stage where Kobe Mainu. I'm not concerned. He's not an issue. He's just a great player. Obviously, he's very young still, and you've got to manage his minutes a little bit. A little bit. I think he can play most games, if I'm being brutally honest. But he's not a problem. Where there's a question mark around a lot of Manchester United players at the minute.
Yeah.
Are they going to stay? Are they good enough? Are they, ones for the future? Do we need to cash in? There's loads of different questions going on. And I think about pretty much, maybe other than 3 or 4, I think almost the entire squad is under a bit of a microscope.
I know.
I think there's only maybe like Højlund, Martinez, Bruno.
Even then, Bruno gets a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and a lot
all right
of
then.
people saying he's-
Højlund and Martinez, we go definitely not an issue. Like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're staying. I personally don't want to see Bruno go anywhere. I know some people
Same.
questioning him, but I think almost everyone else, it's like you don't know, do you?
Yeah.
You don't know whether they're going to be here future, long term, or even past the summer. Garnacho's another one. Sorry, who's not an issue.
Yeah. But yeah, even then, there's people who doubt his quality. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone thinks he's going to get sold in the summer.
No.
But in terms of players who I like, the consensus is he's good enough to start for us next season.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like
That's a foul. That.
Martinez.
Is that not a
and
foul? He's
that's it.
booting his leg.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but
it did look like a foul to
it
me.
just looked like a foul. Yeah. No, I agree. It's weird, Danny. I can't remember United being in such a weird state.
No.
Like even in the dark times, like there's always been a little bit of stability. There's always been a core of players you think, okay, yeah, they're good enough. Like post Fergie, we had quite a few players where you looked at them, you went, all right, yeah, he's good enough. We'll be all right, sort of thing with them. We just need to sort of rotate or change or bring in some other players. But now it's like you say, it just feels like 2/3 of the squad, if not more. You don't know if they're up for it.
No. Just on, we've seen it all from. We've seen Sancho, we've seen Ronaldo. I know it's not the same situation, but we've seen now these sort of problems with Rashford and stuff off the pitch, and problems with discipline and all that from the squad. Do you think perhaps, or do you think there's any sort of validity to the argument where people will say, if there's a couple of people around you who are a dickhead, they're probably a dickhead. If everyone's around you is a dickhead, you're the dickhead.
Yeah,
Do you think there's an element of that with Ten Hag, where it's like, if Ronaldo's spouting off, that's one thing, but when it's this guy, that guy, rumours here, people that, do you think maybe there's something to the idea that he's a bit too strict and a bit too difficult to get along with? Do you think that's possible?
I think he might be a bit of a uncharismatic guy. He might be a bit sort of difficult he might not be the warmest guy, should we say.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little bit element of that. But I think for the players that you've mentioned, in Sancho, Ronaldo and now Rashford, they've all let themselves down.
Yeah.
I think Ronnie gave that interview with Piers Morgan. And if you actually proper watch that interview and look at some of the criticisms he's saying and look at when he questions Ten Hag, it's not fair.
No.
What he's saying. It doesn't. It's things like, about respect and things like that.
Yeah.
And Ten Hag defended him. Ronnie left early, didn't he, in the pre-season? Didn't train. Didn't have a pre-season. Left early for was it not the Sociedad game? What was the game we had at Old Trafford?
I can't. It might have been Sociedad.
Right.
I can't remember.
Forgive me.
I know obviously.
He left
scenario.
early, and Ten Hag defended him and said, "Well, loads of players left early. They've scored. Newport scored an absolute worldie. Game on."
We're not surely going to be fucking. Fuck off. Oh no.
Imagine.
Look at that. Their manager gone full lower league manager mode there. Did you see that? Just flicking back and forth between sort of inbuilt twitches of the lower league manager.
Yeah.
Like just losing it because they've scored. Fuck.
Fair play to the kid. Let's have a look at this goal here. About 25 yards out, isn't it?
It's a very
it's
good
a
goal.
finish,
Post
that,
in as well. It's a deflection, isn't it? Here we go. If Martinez was taller, that wouldn't have gone in. I mean, honestly, that is true. I'm not remotely saying he's anything. If he's 6'4", he gets enough of a head on that to stop that going in. That's a fact.
What's your opinion on goalkeepers with proper trackies on?
I hate it. I think it looks shocking. I hate it when you've got a goalie with trousers on. It bothers me, actually, Jay. It bothers me a lot. What do you think?
I don't mind it, man.
Do you not?
It feels a little bit old school.
Yeah.
It feels like a little bit like, I don't know. It reminds me of the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to remember like which goalkeeper I associate with. Dave Besson used to do it.
Besson. A lot of I think when the goal mouths were a lot dirtier and more gross, keepers wore trousers.
It's not something
you
see very often, because now, like, if you're Alisson Becker, whatever, they wear them sort of figure hugging ones, don't they? Not trackies, they're like the bodysuit things.
Them Kim Kardashian skims ones over the called. Yeah.
Whereas my man's gone with the proper trackies.
Yeah.
So
I remember
it is old school.
The trackies, but they had like padding in. Do you remember? So when you dived, it didn't hurt.
Come on, man.
I'd wear them.
Isn't it mad that like goalkeepers just used to have the bare hands and that?
Bare hands is crazy, isn't it? I watched my dad sent me a video of a game the other day, and the pitch was genuinely not a blade of grass on the entire pitch.
Yeah.
It looked like sort of freshly rolled toffee. It was so shy. Like they'd obviously got the rollers out, but there was no grass to roll. It was just so slick but they were playing like good football. I think it was Jimmy Greaves or someone scored a goal for Tottenham.
Yeah.
But the surface, you think, no wonder English players in England national team played was known for such Route 1 football. You couldn't possibly pass on it, no matter what. It was astonishingly
That's
bad.
why you got to give credit to people like George Best and that, because you watch them, like,
dribblers in that
dribbling,
era.
like where a player could run over to you and like 2-foot you and not get booked.
Yeah.
Like the challenges were horrendous. The pitches were awful. The ball's like a medicine ball.
Yeah.
And you've got these players like just jinking and dancing through, and you're like, how are you even controlling that? How are you even moving that ball through mud? It's like moving a rock through mud whilst escaped asylum patient tries to murder you.
Yeah, and your boots are made of cement.
Yeah. And then you've got players like this with his no shin pads and his socks around his ankles, just like dancing past everyone, banging in goals. It is mint. I think that's one of the things, like, reason why Bobby Charlton's so loved as well, because a lot of these games weren't televised, were they? But when you see the footage from like Bobby Charlton's games, every goal he's scoring is just a banger.
Yeah.
And it's like big games as well, like Champions League finals, European Cup finals, just banging in goals. And
left foot, right foot.
Left foot, mint header, World Cup quarter final or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Banging in a 25-yard screamer.
Always.
Like, class, man.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I couldn't even kick that ball 25 yards.
No.
Let alone put it past the goalkeeper.
What are you doing there, Dallo, man?
Below, man, come on.
You can't be backheening it into the centre of the pitch. Newport are coming again here. Got it in the box.
Imagine it even takes us to a replay. I'll be so annoyed.
Yeah, me too. God. That's a foul. That's the sort of thing you don't get given because it's Newport. Do you know, you're just jumping on someone's shoulders like that, falling over. If Hoyland does that on their defender, it gets given every day.
Yeah.
Because it's Newport and, well, they're a lower league team, so they're allowed to just be big blokes jumping all over you. Like, you can't jump on someone's shoulders to win a header.
What do you
free
think?
Kickers, have they got a free kick?
What do you think about the no VAR thing?
Good, love it.
I love it.
Get rid of it, bin it.
I want it binned.
Yeah, me too.
I think as an experiment, it's failed.
Yeah, it has. We tried it properly as well. We tried it for like 6 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't just 2 months. We've tried it. Second referendum.
I'm happy to live and die by decisions, mate.
Yeah, me too. I don't mind it.
You might get ones that go against you. You might get ones that go for you, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd enjoy the games more just being able to sit or go to the game and watch it, or sit at home or sit here and watch it without the 5-minute gaps and the breaks and the...
And that's not to say I won't complain when a ref reads.
No, of course you will. It doesn't mean you're going to say, oh, well, there's no VAR, so I'm happy with that decision.
Yeah, but I'd take that over what we've got for VAR. Good touch, lad. Well done. I allowed them to come back, but it wasn't easy, that. Poor ball from Dallo.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just making Mainoo stretch for it.
I know.
Like, come on. United just building out here from the back.
But yeah, and this whole thing of it evens itself out over a season, it doesn't. And sometimes your team lose the only Champions League final they ever get to because of a bad decision. But
Yeah.
I would
That's what
prefer
happened.
this odd time where it doesn't even itself out to every single goal feeling like it's going to be written off.
Yeah. That's
Like,
like
that's
that's like
insane.
Leeds, isn't it? Leeds were robbed, weren't they, when they played? Was it Bayern Munich?
Well, I don't know. Go on.
Yeah, because apparently Leeds scored. I can't remember if it's Leeds scored or Bayern Munich scored. I think it's Leeds scored, and then Beckenbauer had a word with the ref. The
When
goal was
was
given
this?
75,
Okay.
and then had a word with the ref, and then the ref found an infringement or something.
Really? Which part of the European Cup was this?
The final.
Oh, was it?
Leeds have only been to one European Cup final. They lost to. I'm pretty sure it was Bayern Munich. Get involved in the comments in the chat. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I think it was something like they played Bayern Munich in the final, or whatever
Yeah.
it was, and then they scored, and then Beckenbauer said something to the ref like, "Oh, there was a shove or whatever," and the refs found it like give the foul. I think it's his 1975 European Cup final. If you Google that, I'm pretty sure it's 75.
Why Leeds regard themselves as the 1975 European Cup champions.
I love that. Just
Jose
ignoring
Mourinho style.
the that's Jose Mourinho style.
Yeah.
When we lost to Hull and he refused to accept their second goal should have counted.
Billy Bremner, before they went, said, "We'll be back here with the trophy on Thursday tea time."
Right.
Before they left for Paris. Let's have a look.
Yeah, if memory serves.
The ref
Yeah.
who ref the game was banned after the 1973 Cup Winners' Cup final following an investigation. 2 years later, Leeds' chance to put... Wait a second. He also was... Investigations that he took bribes. 2 years later, Leeds' chance to put that to bed only made it worse. We haven't travelled this far to lose. Here we go, what we got here. Leeds started with the divisive appointment of Brian Clough. Oh, come on, I don't care about all this shit. Just get to the fucking final. After 23 minutes, Peter Lorimer went around Franz Beckenbauer in the penalty area and the ball hit the sweeper's left arm. 11 minutes later, Beckenbauer scissor tackled Alan Clark. It was a blatant penalty. They didn't give a penalty. Even though Beckenbauer admitted afterwards he didn't get the ball and he fouled him.
Good.
Yeah. I think by the sounds of it, there was 2 or 3 decisions.
Yeah,
that
I'm
went the
sure
wrong
there was a
way.
disallowed goal in there as well after Beckenbauer had a word with the referee. Which, you know, I'm a big fan of when it's Leeds and it's
Yeah.
stopping Leeds winning the European Cup.
Fantastic.
Thankfully,
Apparently, Bayern only had 2 shots in the game and scored 2 goals.
thankfully, the Leeds fans took it in good nature, the spirit that you'd expect from them,
Yeah.
and just rioted.
Well, they've just pretended that they're champions, that they won it. That's a absolutely
Honestly.
horrendous cross, that. On it.
Yeah.
That was a horrendous cross.
Just shit, innit? Was it Bruno? Bruno there from left hand side sent a crossover, and he's overrated by about 10 yards.
Yeah.
Bless him. It's just difficult, man. It's difficult being a United fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the minute,
Are you worried about this game?
not particularly.
You still?
I think we've got enough quality there, and I think they'll get knackered. I think when you get to sort of 70 minutes or whatever, I think you'll see it. I mean, I might be wrong, but
That's
I do
brilliant
think
from mine.
the pace of players like Garnacho and Bruno and you know the levels are just, there's only so far you can go, really. I think. But we've
think
got to
so?
be more clinical than that. It was that there, as it Shaw crosses
Shaw,
it in,
yeah.
but it's cut out.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a strong United team as well. And
Yeah.
I think he's right to play a strong team. Play the strong team, win the game, move on. Don't make an issue out of it where you're having to chase the game or people, you know, if anything goes wrong, will question your selection.
Yeah. The thing with this is, you almost can't question the selection because it's like the full strength team.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So like, I don't want him. You know, like say they started a few fringe players,
Oh, of course.
and then United don't win.
Yeah.
People go, why did you do that? It's the manager again.
Yeah.
Don't know what he's doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, the manager's still going to get stick if he can't beat Newport, but at least you can't go, well, it's his team selection, because he's picked, I think, the strongest available 11.
Yeah. Comfortably. Do we know what's wrong with Wan-Bissaka? Has anyone
Yeah,
heard
I
about
looked
that?
earlier, he's got an injury.
Yeah.
There was a headline from someone that I think tells the truth, saying that he had an injury, I think it was a day ago.
Yeah, I
Something.
thought I'd seen that, but
Yeah,
I couldn't source it.
I don't
at the
think there's
time.
an issue there. I know it's like, you know, there's issues everywhere at a minute, but
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka. You said you'd if in the summer given a choice, could be an A.
Bruno.
Oh, good save.
Have you noticed we've done the? Sorry, you're asking me a question there. Go on.
I was just going to say about Wan-Bissaka or Delo.
Yeah, I think you're going to get... I think it's half-time, by the way. I think you're probably not going to win a Premier League, or, they would be a difficult area in trying to win a Premier League with either of them.
Right,
I
okay.
think you probably get more
I kind
money
of
for Wan-Bissaka.
understand where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them are what I would say is world-class. Wan-Bissaka's tackling is world-class, but his overall game isn't.
Yeah.
But out of the two, I went with Wan-Bissaka, didn't I? And you went with Delo to keep.
Yeah.
But I understand your point. It's mad, isn't it, though? Because we was looking at other fullbacks and their stats and that. Like, you was looking at Jeremy Frimpong, and it's like he's mint going forward, yet questionable defensively. It's very rare that you get someone who's amazing. Because even like Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's very good fullback, defensively leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yeah.
Like, people question him, don't they?
And when he's on bad form, he's awful.
Like
spells where he's really poor.
He sort of came to the front in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, didn't it? Where was it Vinicius Junior? He went to sleep, left him.
Yeah.
It's mad because I think now in this sort of era, it's like you've got to decide whether you want someone who's really good attacking or really good defensively. It's rare you can get someone who's really good at both.
Yeah. We're going to hear from Andy and Ange in just a minute. Before that, I've got a few super chats. Andy Knight says, Dimitri Karine for Chelsea.
Dimitri Karine, I remember him, the goalkeeper. He was in goal when we won the FA Cup. Was it that game?
It's just said, always remember him wearing trackies against United in the 94 final.
Yeah,
there you go.
Was,
Dale
my
Griffith
first
said,
FA Cup final. That.
Was it?
Yeah.
And your last?
It's been downhill since then. I wish it was my last after the last one I went to.
Hello, gents. As a replacement for Anthony in the summer, would you rather have Pedro Neto, Michael Olise, or Nico Williams?
I'll go Elisa.
Would you?
Who are you going with?
I think probably Neto, but you need any of those three you get. They need to have their best ever season for United to be a real success. So we need to improve, I think. David Taylor says, Do you think a lot of the magic has gone out of the FA Cup when the semi-finals start being played at Wembley? 99 Villa Park will always be a special place. I don't personally think so. I think I like that FA Cup semi-finals were played at Villa Park and other grounds, but I think for imagine you're a Newport or a whoever, I think it'd be amazing to play at Wembley if you managed to get to a semi-final. I don't think it's a problem really.
I'm a little biased. My favourite experience in the semi-final was at Wembley in '94 when we equalised against Oldham. Mark Hughes with a volley, and it was unreal. I came out of the game, right? I'll get Andy on in a minute. I'm sure he'll tell you about it. But that was like the start of our last-minute goal. One of that era. I think we'd had it the season before and that season, and we were on for the double, and Oldham were winning, and then Mark Hughes scored in the last minute, and I remember getting squashed. This guy hugged me. And I had blood all over me because my nose had bust. I didn't care. It was just mint. And that was at Wembley. So it's... I don't know. Go on. Well, let's get Andy in. Andy, let's have a bit of nostalgia, bro. Let's talk about the good times. So, tell me your semi-final experience.
That last-minute goal you just mentioned, Mark Hughes was with my dad. And when we equalised, it was absolutely pandemonium. And I saw a bloke in his 40s fall down the stairs backwards, crack his head open, blood pouring from his head. But did he give a shit? He didn't.
Love that.
He was laughing like the Joker, deluded.
And
he was later taken to hospital.
Yeah, with concussion.
He wasn't laughing at that point.
May he rest in peace. But yeah, it was one of them ones. Go on.
And thoughts on the first half? Got any stats? Got any info? Talk to me about that 2-1 half-time scoreline.
So pretty much what you would expect stats-wise, 75% ball possession for United. There is a colossal gap between accurate passes. We've got 274 for United, 59 for Newport. We've had 2 corners, they've had 1. We obviously hit the woodwork once, shots inside the box, 6 for us, 3 for Newport. XG, 0.77 for United, 0.10 for Newport.
Wow. It's mad that it's 2, that we've got 3 goals off a combined XG of 0.87, and you've got 3 goals out of it. It's overachieving here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you would imagine those stats pretty much all in Manchester United's favour.
Yeah.
A really good first half. I think you couldn't have really. A shame that we've gone 1 goal down, but I think overall the kind of start that you would want. I like the fact that we got an early goal. I like that who the 2 goal scorers are. I think they both needed goals. So yeah, I think just more of the same. And I think it would be nice if within the first 10-15 minutes you want to see them maybe kill this game off. But yeah, pretty much what you would expect from the first half.
Yeah, the place is called Rodney Park, and we do what look like a set of plonkers come in.
Nice. Do you know what? Let's have that one. Hey, I'm having that one.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Really good.
Yeah.
Or Rodney Parade, it's called. Yeah.
Well, still
works.
Still works.
Rodney's the key.
The joke still works.
Yeah, it was a good first half, lads. More of the same, and their goal. Just a deflection. Well, was it? You say you can't blame the keeper, you can't blame Martinez. It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
Nah, are you concerned at all, Andy? Are you all right?
Well, like I said, I will be if we haven't taken our chances. If this, we tend to get into a comfortable position and then sit back, and we have to go for it again. Like we can't encourage Newport, and you imagine the outcry, even if they got a replay. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
We're just seeing a little bit of, some footage here of kind of wasted opportunities, and almost like United's wingers in particular looking for the goal or not seeing what's around them. Like, I think Højlund's had 2 touches in the box, something in the game so far, someone in the comments said. There's been a few times where, a cross square across the front of the goal, and you've got Højlund running in for a tap-in, and we've either not done it or the quality's not been there. Even in this game, do you see sort of signs of frustration for that front line, because the wingers
I see Anthony as a winger, and he's not even putting a cross.
Yeah.
And the Newport fans are mocking him, quite rightly so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're there to be criticised, and if you can't put a right foot cross in.
What do you reckon of swapping him round under and having him on his left foot, crossing him in on his left foot?
Well, he's only there because a certain person's hungover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll get that in a minute, but for this game or in future, would you have him on the left, crossing him in with his left foot? Because he keeps cutting in and shooting.
The commentators mentioned it. I say work more on in training. Have a right foot. I mean, we know he's good with his left, but let's say work on him in training. He's Ten Hag's pep, innit? So it's like, if you're going to use him all the time, make sure he's got a right foot as well as left foot.
Yeah.
What do you reckon of that? Do you think like you can do that? Can you get him training on his right foot to cross it in? Or would you swap him around, or would you just say, come on now?
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, you can definitely help it. You can definitely get better.
I don't think he's... I don't think he's that great on his left, I'll be honest with you.
No, but I think he can hit the ball. With his right foot, we don't even look like he fancies himself to sort of kick it in a straight line. Yeah. And I know people always say, I've seen footballers answer that question before about why didn't you work better on your left foot or whatever, right foot, your weak foot. Because they say, well, Anthony, and maybe not Anthony, but a lot of professional footballers are better with their weak foot than we are with our strong foot. Yeah. But compared to Premier League defenders or Champions League level defenders, you have to be amazing for it to look anything other than shit. But with Anthony, I don't even think it's like semi-pro level, that right foot. No. Do you know what I mean? If his left foot was as bad as his right foot, he wouldn't be being paid to be a footballer. So I think you can work on that. You can get better at that. I was watching a video the other day about, it's not the same thing quite, but a bloke who was doing a little basketball seminar, and throughout the whole thing he's just shooting from the free throw line. Probably does 30 or 40 in a row, gets them all in. But he talks about how he would do 600 shots a day from the free throw line. If Anthony runs down the line or has 30 balls there and goes through that pile 2 or 3 times, whipping balls in with his right foot, putting one on the penalty spot, going one to the back post, one to the near post. If he does that every single day, you can't tell me he won't get better, that he won't get more comfortable using it. And I just think if it's such a clear sort of weak spot to your game, do more with it. Practice it more, because you've got to be able to get to the point where you can at least go down the line and square the ball straight. You don't have to be able to bend it in the top corner from 30 yards, but be able to do a straight cross to the penalty spot with your weak foot. That's basics, surely. Like, does anyone else think that that's sort of out of the realms of possibility for him to do that? I just think it's mad that he can't do a basic entry-level thing with his right foot, because, I don't know, he doesn't trust it or whatever. It just seems mad, doesn't it? I don't know.
Only he knows the answer.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Just seen footage here from the West Brom Wolves getting up, kicked off, didn't it?
Yeah, they postponed it for a bit, didn't they?
Big respect to the old Pirate Grandad Wolves fan. When I sent Jay a tweet before, he's funny.
Yeah, he looked good.
He was like 70. He was nearly 80 years old, bless him. But he had one. He had a black thing on his eye, like a patch, and so old school football, chanting rivalry banter. I loved it.
It was good. In terms of second half, are we reading into it a little bit too much, reading into the scoreline if we think we have to change anything? Because really, they've had, I don't want to say lucky because that's harsh on the quality of the goal, but they've had a slightly fortunate, unlikely goal.
If we keep it going,
or do you think that there's signs
we'll keep
of
this
worry?
going, keep it professional. We have to get the next goal because you don't want to encourage him.
Yeah.
Because it, like you say, it could end up with egg on your face. So just keep it going. We need that third goal soon. I mean, the longer it stays at 2-1, then you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Because they have got Newport. They've got previous scouts. They drew with Newport. They drew with Spurs. They've beaten Leeds. They've done Middlesbrough in the past as well. So they have got. They can do it.
Yeah, they've got a bit of history there. Giant killing history.
What about giant killing, but causing a few problems. Well, anybody beats Leeds is a friend of ours.
Yeah, 100%. Massively respect that. Ange, what do you reckon? Second half, what are you doing if you're Eric Ten Hag?
I wouldn't be making any changes because I think overall we've kind of done what we're supposed to be doing. So yeah, I wouldn't make any changes. I think it's just really key, like I said before, that this game needs to be killed off within the first 10-15 minutes, I would say, because as much as, that was a great goal for them, they will be, at half-time, they'll definitely be up for it. And how many times have we seen Man United, fair enough with, no disrespect, but a higher calibre of team, we've seen them, mess up within that first 10-15 minutes. Yeah. And we just can't afford an embarrassment like that.
Look at Ipswich yesterday. They battered him. Post, bar, post.
38 shots they had.
Yeah,
really?
Maidstone had 2.
They had 2 and 2 goals.
Finishes as well, man.
And just on the Maidstone, the fan who fell off the roof, I hope he's okay.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Apparently, it's the person who landed on who's having trouble.
Really?
That's what I saw, yeah. Someone was in hospital because someone fell on him.
Bloody hell.
You don't think about that, do you? 13 stone falling 20 feet onto you. That's that's no laugh, is it?
No, to be fair, isn't. But yeah, that was like a proper FA Cup tie, that wasn't it?
Yeah, proper old school 80s.
Don't really care to win. I like Kieran McKenna, but I wouldn't bother. But it was good to see Maidstone keeping their little run going.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a few super chats to get everyone's thoughts on it. Parag says, such a relief to have Lisandro Martinez back. He's so good with the ball. We've seen a few of his passes out wide, playing it out to the fullbacks, just pushing up to the halfway line and beyond as well, keeping possession, keeping United on the ball. He makes such a big difference. You're obviously a massive fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I love him. I do. And it's like, there was one where he got a bad ball off the goalkeeper foot, but he made it look easier. He does it all. He kept doing it last season. You give him a ball with 3 men round him, and he'll find his way out of it. He's just so good to watch. I love everything about him. I love his attitude. I love the fact he'll not just play out from the back, but also he motivates them around him as well. Yeah. Like, he's got a proper leadership thing. Sorry, Andy, go on.
And what have you made of the new lads?
I can't say.
He's done okay.
45 minutes against Newport, he's done all right.
Yeah, he's done okay. I just hope if he does well, he gets a sniff Thursday, but I doubt he will. Because someone's got an ego who's coming back, and he's very protective of himself now, isn't he? So.
Well, go on. What do you mean?
How does it say? No. If he got dropped, and I've seen he's fallen out with the coach of Cameroon again. So he's like, what was the point in going?
Yeah, it was a disaster, wasn't it? Let's have it right.
He played
one game that they lost. Was it the Senegal game he played in? Didn't play in the Guinea game. Didn't play in the Nigeria game.
And they lost 2-0 last night.
So just shambles.
Absolute embarrassment. And you wanted to stay and delay. It's your own fault, lad. And if you lose your place Thursday,
I don't think he'll lose his place.
Crocodile tears, man.
I don't think he will.
Crocodile tears.
I don't think he'll lose his place.
It's the way the squad is. Even with Marcus Rashford on this week with the allegations, it's come out with the Athletic. I tend to believe more the Athletic.
Yeah. No, I do.
Well, also, you say that, but there hasn't been anyone pushing back on it. So, I'm not to say that if you don't deny it, then it's true, because obviously that's a slippery slope, but it's not like United or Rashford.
He may not have been hungover.
This is nonsense.
Rashford may not have been hungover, but he may have been shattered.
Yeah.
So that is no excuse.
No.
And he's got previous for it.
Yeah. If he puts his little training vest on, he's got a resting heart rate of 130.
You're cutting off your nose to spite your face, and I would say there's half of the Man United fan base don't give a toss about him anymore, and half the fan base love him. So he's like what he did against Spurs and all that. You know what? It's on you. Yeah. I think he's out of touch with the United fans now. That's my personal opinion.
What would your approach be to Rashford if you were Ten Hag?
I'd just drop him. I'd just make him sit. Just don't play him. He's got the same mentality now as Jadon Sancho, and I hate it. Yeah. I really hate it. Two young footballers, too much money, a lot of time on their hands. Yeah. Egos.
What, you, Ange?
Yeah, I think same. He needs to be dropped. I've always been a big fan of Marcus Rashford. This whole situation, as soon as me and Joe were saying, as soon as I saw The Athletic talking about it, you take that.
Yeah, it's like Andy says, you're reliable, aren't they?
Yeah.
Especially when there's free journalists that you can trust on there.
Exactly.
For me, for my money. It's not like I'm going to these.
Yeah, I totally agree. And at the end of the day, there needs to be consequences for everybody, just because you might have done some great things before, or just because, you might be born and bred, in Manchester, boyhood club, etc., etc. There's nothing, he has to be dropped now.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly true, because like
agree.
you say, something would have come out.
I agree, both of you. Anyway, the second half is going to get underway. We're going to be hearing from Andy and Ange after the game, so make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Go and check them both out on the socials as well. They've been tagged in our social media post.
Yep.
Joseph?
Yes.
What
big second half.
What was your prediction? Your score prediction?
I think it was 6-0.
See you later, Andy.
6-0, I think.
Well, you got that one wrong, didn't you?
What was yours?
4-1.
Well, you got it wrong as well, then, haven't you, dickhead?
No. How? I'm still on for it.
Well, it's not 4-1, is it?
It's looking good for that, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, watch us concede now.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's looking good for a 4-2 if the first half happens again. So you're an idiot.
What have you made, Joe? 'Cause I've not had a chance to chat to you because you was wagging it on Friday because you've been out partying in Belfast or something.
It was my day off. Dickhead. Although me and Marcus did have a lovely time. Yeah. Imagine if I was with him. You saw the footage, someone's filming down the stairs at work.
Who's that 6'4" guy who looks just like Jesus? Dressed like a baseball player. That can't be my Joe Smith, can it?
What?
I don't know if you heard, because there's not been much media about it, but Jurgen Klopp announced that he's leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. Yes. So I've not really had to...
flop, more like.
Nice.
Hello? Hello?
What have you made of it all?
He's good. He's done very well. He's a good manager, isn't he? He's done well to sort of interfere with Man City, because that's not been very easy to do. He's had some spells, fortunately for us as United fans, where almost how good they were didn't quite translate into the number of trophies they won, I would say. Especially in the league. Yeah. I think there was a spell for about 18 months where they were absolutely unbelievable, but they only won one trophy because obviously 18 months is one season, and a bit. But I do think a little bit, some of the reaction has been slightly OTT. When you think he's done, similar for Liverpool as to what Roberto Di Matteo did for Chelsea, and yet people weren't too upset about him leaving, were they?
They've scored.
Newport have equalised.
Oh my gosh, Newport have actually equalised. It's 2-2. So there you go, my score prediction's out the window now as well. Spoke too soon.
Idiot.
Oh, mate.
Not happening, this, is it? No.
I do hate, right, the way people lay into fans when they don't celebrate fully. But some of those Newport fans were acting like they just got a consolation goal against Altrincham or something. Yeah. They were just like, right, you've just equalised against United. Not easily pleased or what? It's like, yeah, nice one.
You sat here now. Are you worried about us losing now?
Yeah. I don't think it'll happen, but like we've just conceded 2 goals, and like the first one you can excuse, the second one again, it's just poor from a United point of view.
Do you know the
look there? What's doing that? How's he beating you there to the near post?
So from this point here, where the ball gets played up to their striker, to the point where the ball goes in, no one is within touching distance of the man with the ball at any time. No one gets near the striker. No one gets near the guy in midfield. No one gets near the guy who pulls it back. And unless it hits Varane on the way in, no one gets near the striker either. No. Like, United are playing at half fucking pace because we think we're going to win.
That's basic, that. Not like you say. Not closing down the cross. He's got a free cross there. Take his time. And also getting beat the near post there. No one's going to the man. No one's trying to get there first. They're letting him get there first. I mean, it's so basic, that. Awful. Again, now, it's become a drama.
Yeah.
It's like the meme, just one normal day at Manchester United.
And again, as Ange pointed out, and she did a good job pointing it out, but unfortunately, you don't need to do a good job pointing it out because United have made a habit of doing this season. We did it against City, we did it the other week. Was it Tottenham we did it against? We've done it 2 or 3 times before that as well, where we concede goals early in the second half of games and we come out the second half of games looking worse as we put the ball in. And I'm still hopeful and expecting a win, but the fact that we've let them score 2 goals is genuinely embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We've got a full strength midfield, full strength defence. Neither of these goals are on the goalkeeper. He hasn't put a foot wrong there. They're just not putting the work in because they think, it's only Newport. Honestly, for anyone watching, watch the goal back and watch the 10 seconds in the build up to that goal. The ball gets played up to their striker. None of our defenders are near him. He plays it back to their midfielder. None of our midfielders are near him. The ball goes out to their winger. Our fullbacks and wingers aren't near him, and they put the ball in the middle. Our defenders aren't near him. It's shit. Between 7 or 8 players in the team, we should have done better.
It's schoolboy, innit? It's not even schoolboy. You know what? I'm not trying to be melodramatic, but I went to watch my lad play yesterday, his team. They're 8 years old. Do you know what I mean? I'd be annoyed if they conceded a goal.
The phrase, track your man,
yeah, it's so basic.
has been uttered at every single level of football for the last 150 years. You don't need to be a fucking Premier League player to get near the bloke who's got the ball for the opposition. Like, isn't it?
Everything you said is true. It's so the obvious thing. Anyone can just sort of say that in a game. It's relevant, innit? Just track your man, close him down, whatever. Just the basic cliches that are true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let the striker get there first. All that jazz. And that we've just done all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just shambolic. It's like we wanted them to score. Gave them so much time. It's ridiculous.
Have we got a documentary team following us this season?
If we have, it's going to be a comedy.
It feels like this is being written for them in real time.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's like the producers of a documentary are deciding what United season
It would
looks
have
like.
the feel of The Office or a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Manchester United travelled to Newport.
Yeah.
They've lost.
Yeah.
What? What is going on here?
Ten Hag hopes to build on a successful first season with more trophies and a big run in the Champions League. And then it's just the fucking
lost every game almost.
Curb Your Enthusiasm theme tune for the next 6 hours.
If you'll indulge me,
No.
if Newport win,
Yes.
do we see Ten Hag in the dugout again?
Yes.
Let me be melodramatic. I'm not saying
we
that's
see
going to
it again,
happen.
but we don't see it next season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they'll sack him tonight, but if we lose this game, because the reason, and not because it's such an embarrassment to lose to Newport, because the reason you lose to teams 3 leagues below you is because the players have fucked you off.
Yeah.
That's why. When you can't be arsed running and tracking and passing, and you've got players who are being greedy in the final third, and you've got players who are being lazy in your own third, if they're doing that and they're not listening to the manager, then you end up going. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to win. But, it's not necessarily the case.
Feels very,
we've lost.
very close to if we lost today, caretaker man is a tackle.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Who do we get in? Carrick?
I don't know.
Nicking from Middlesbrough. Bruno's in. Just didn't expect it to get through, did he?
Again, I don't think we will, but I don't know. I just feel like these are the games that cost managers the jobs, man.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean? Losing to Newport.
Yeah.
And Newport aren't even flying, are they, in their league? They're struggling a little bit.
17.
17 will struggle a little bit. A lot then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
I know they just beat Wrexham, who are second. But, like you said, they're 16th or 17th, whatever it is. They're not a top team even within the confines of League Two.
So remember those glorious moments, or that in the first half when the internet went down?
Yeah, and we scored 2
that
goals.
That was like the highlight of the day, wasn't it?
Oh, I love that. Being on the phone to the internet company, telling them that we can't have a YouTube channel anymore.
Telling them that we're taking legal action.
Yeah, telling them that we have a fleet of incredibly high-paid lawyers who will metaphorically and literally bang their back doors down until we get answers.
Right.
That was the highlight of my day compared to this. Also, those 2 goals went in when we were off air. So as far as the sort of the tapestry of well done, Anthony. Bruno, as far as the tapestry of the day is concerned, those goals didn't even happen.
I'm sorry, I love Bruno. That's a poor shot that for me. It's so easy to save that.
Yeah.
It's like he's floated it.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Hit it hard in the bottom corner. Anthony does very well here, by the way.
Yeah. And then finally picks out Højlund, keeps it alive. But then this, it's so easy that.
Just pull it into this corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
like he's sort of floated it down the centre of the goal.
Yeah.
It's a glorified pass back.
Bruno Fernandes has forgotten more about finishing than we've ever known, but he knows he did the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, he did it. It's a shame that.
That's a fantastic
That's a
ball.
ball. Go on, Alejandro. He's kept it in. Oh no, he hasn't.
Unlucky.
This is the trouble as well. And I never thought I'd say this against Newport, but we haven't even got anyone on the bench, I think, where you go, get him on.
I mean, Ericsson for me is the one I would look to. And again, as much as it pains me to say it, I think Scott McTominay would do well against him.
McTominay's a good one,
Yeah.
actually. This stinks of Scott McTominay, this game.
Yeah.
Absolutely reeks of him.
It reeks of him. And do you know what he Sauvage.
Sauvage.
I bet you wear that, don't you?
I used to, not anymore.
I bet McTominay wears that.
Why? What's wrong with Sauvage?
I didn't what to say was wrong with it. He's a professional footballer.
Yeah.
6'4", good
There's
looking
different
guy.
types of Sauvage as well.
Yeah,
I had the
you
elixir.
wore the one where the V was swapped for an S, didn't you?
Yeah, got it off a guy in a car boot sale in
Sausage.
Weast. Sausage. Hey, smell that bacon.
Eau de Cumberland.
That
was yours, wasn't it?
It's like 48p.
Lincolnshire.
48p a litre. That's how much that is. So much that aftershave
It's
is.
basically antifreeze with a bit of sausage grease in it. Fucking bloody lovely. Keeps you stinking through 3 showers, that stuff.
Great.
Sausage.
Sausage.
For boys.
For men. Yeah. Sausage for lads.
Yeah. Sausage. Wasn't Sausage for Lads that website you ran? A lot of pictures of you like that on the sofa and all that. Newport are going to win, and we're pissing ourselves.
This is why I need to use incognito mode. You always blowing me up.
Sorry, mate.
I can't believe whoever's getting knocked out of the FA Cup, by the way. I can't be asked with the season being over by January the 28th.
No, it's not.
Like, genuinely.
No, we're not going out.
Like, it's so shit just aiming for top 4.
Look at that. Johnny Rotten in the crowd.
Oh,
Look.
he's like come out of Neil from the Young Ones, isn't it? Is it Neil? Or Adrian? I always get mixed up.
I think it's Neil.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck knows. No, it's not Neil.
Adrian. Put Adrian. Is it Adrian or Vivian? Vivian, try. Vivian, it's Vivian.
Yeah, Adrian Edmondson, who plays Vivian.
That's it. That's who he was.
Good stuff, that.
I've just heard
That's what you
Alexi
need.
saying finish club.
And he's
Finish
United.
club.
He's the only one behind those United.
Yeah, I know, finish
Actually, no,
club.
Andrew
Washed
Cox as
club.
well. Yeah, dusty club.
Yeah,
club.
dusty ballers.
It's good that we're going, toe to toe, shot for shot with a side who's in the bottom third of League Two. I love that. Look at that, Garnacho there.
Buying a foul. Having to buy a foul off Newport.
Wayne Rooney till the end of the season.
Sorry?
Wayne Rooney till the end of the season.
I love Wayne Rooney, right? I still think he's a little bit underrated as a player.
Yeah.
But his managerial career has not been great, has it? He had a little bit of a spell at Derby, which I think one of the things that helped him at Derby was he called in, like, not a few favourites, but he knew players that he could get, like Ravel and like players like that, Jagielka, where he got him in on free, because obviously they had no money. Plus he was like paying wages for the staff and stuff.
He did well.
Yeah, so he did well, didn't he? Because he hadn't got that huge points deduction, he would have kept him up. But they did, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And then, his time at Birmingham City was horrible. And I do feel for him, because I would have loved to have seen Rooney succeed. I would have. And do you know what? I do worry about Rooney a little bit, mate. There's nothing in that.
I'm not just saying this to be sort of hyperbolic here. We're under the cosh and on the back foot against Newport right now. The last 5 minutes, we've barely got out of our own half.
I think it gets a little bit of ball there. I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, I think that's soft.
Not lying, that.
I think this is just a robust challenge.
Yeah. 3 years ago, Will Evans was a dairy farmer. So. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, well, 20 years ago, Bruno Fernandes was a child. So
We're getting beat by dairy farmers now. This is fucking great, isn't it? Hey.
we're not getting beat yet.
Sorry, we're drawing to
Right.
dairy farmers.
If this was still 0-0, would that feel better or worse than this does now?
Well, losing a 2-goal lead is worse.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
It
Honestly,
is
when we went
ridiculous,
2-0 up early doors, I thought, right, we'll turn the screw here, get a really big win, and it'll be like a positive where we can just move on and go, right, okay, we dealt with them, give them a bit of an hiding, let's go on to the Wolves game. Now, it's like a drama.
Yeah.
If you're Wolves, you're watching this.
Sorry.
Is it Gary O'Neill, the Wolves manager?
Yeah.
You're watching this going, Christmas has come early,
Yeah.
Better time to play United. They were unlucky against us at Old Trafford. So, at Molineux, they'll fancy it, won't
Also, Newport are essentially wearing a Wolves kit.
Exactly.
So these players are going to hit the PTSD button as soon as they step on the pitch next week.
they? It's the dairy farmer again.
He's back.
No.
Can you hear mooing?
Yeah, that's what'll happen.
What's happened here? Oh, free kick to
just give us a free kick to help us out.
Jesus Christ.
We're
I didn't
fully in
expect
the sort of
Mud?
the banter era here, aren't we?
Yeah.
I thought the banter era was Moyes, but it weren't.
No. That was just welcome to the banter era.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
even like the worst seasons we've had. Like Rangnick was a little bit the banner era.
No, that
wasn't
was
it?
pure
like because
banter
there wasn't any positives there. But even then, you've got a Champions League knockout game. Like, admittedly, thanks to Michael Carrick, but there was a little bit of something during that season.
Yeah. Garnacho into the box.
It's far too much. You got a corner out of it, but you need to be quicker there. Honestly, no matter what the scenario, United, we always play like we're 5-0 up.
I know.
Like, it's so annoying.
Look Shaw, ball in. Oh, I thought we'd scored.
No, it's a goal kick.
What happened there, Martinez?
I feel sorry for him. Come back to this shite.
I know, yeah. He's not done it wrong either, has
No.
he? I mean, could have been a bit taller for the first one. To be fair. I can't even tell what happens there,
I
really. The
don't
replays,
know,
there we go, this will tell us.
It comes off his back. It's deflected the cross.
Martinez kicks it against Højlund by the look of it.
I'll always hate short corners anyway.
Do you think?
I just don't like it. Just fuck them off. Just put it in the box. You know what I mean?
You're in the mixer.
Exactly.
Go on, Rasmus.
The only like, keep going, son. Right, what is this American football?
Yeah.
You can't just block someone like that. I know it's Newport, but it doesn't mean they can just foul.
Yeah, Rasmus Højlund trying to get past
Yeah,
him,
and he's
he
just
wasn't
like,
on the ball,
no,
he
I'm
was
not
like
letting you
holding
do
him off.
that.
Yeah, you can't do
That's
that.
not allowed. He's dreaming of the days when he used to be at Atlanta, him, innit? Ireland.
Yeah.
He's like, where the fuck did I ever come here?
To have no shots
I
in
know.
60
So-
minutes against Newport. What a life. He's had as many shots against Newport as I have today.
I know. He found out during Newport. He didn't know anything. He didn't know who they were, what that was.
No.
I had to tell him.
He thought it was to do with Portugal.
Yeah, he's like, Newport, what the fuck's
Like
that?
New York, like New Portugal and that.
Yeah. So I had to tell him. He's got there and he's had to watch Garnacho and Anthony shooting as he stood there waiting for a ball.
Look at this, look.
It's just bad, isn't it?
Right. It's a shit torch that. What's that torch? They've literally played the ball to you. We've got a chance for a counter attack and you just chip the ball straight back to them.
Right.
Well done, Rasmus. Go on. Stay on side. You're never getting that.
Do you know what?
If that's the other way around, it's a foul. But you're not going to get that.
It's just shit. I'm sorry. Bloody hell. Bayern Day's going to have the shortest United career ever if he keeps doing things like that.
Onana's still got his fucking Cameroon kit on and he's going to bring him on for the last 20 minutes. Crossing from shite.
Oh, it's just awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're just fucking shit. Right, come on, man. It's just unacceptable. Even a replay is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like,
replay's
this will be
embarrassing.
up amongst one of our worst ever results, this. It will.
If we lose.
In the context, like losing or even drawing's pretty shit, but losing would be, I think, iconic.
Yeah.
Losing to a team that's 17th in League Two.
Their goal is going to sit down for a bit. Fair enough. I mean,
I don't blame him.
No,
I'd be doing every bit of shithousery I could do.
Yeah. Roadman or RD Man 07 says, either now or summer Ten Hag has to go. He's utterly crap. We're worse now than when Ollie got sacked. So why is this clown still in charge? Eric Zero Hag.
Nice.
More like.
Not Ten Hag, Zero Hag.
Yeah.
Rashford, can we have your week's wages, says the banner there. Bants.
No. Obviously not.
I hate them banners. Not the one about Rashford's week's wages, but them, can I have your shirt?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's just cringe, innit?
Yeah. Can I have your pants and that?
Yeah.
With you, that was your.
That's the one I
The
got my
Celine
kids
Dion
too old.
concert, wasn't it? You had a sort of a rotating phalanx of posters asking for all different items from JLS, didn't you?
Yeah, love JLS.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it as well. Adults drawing a sign to make it look like a kid's done it.
I know.
Then
and
giving
then
it to their
sending your kid and then getting him to stand there.
And then nicking it off him while
yeah,
he's still in the
and
shot.
stick it on eBay and that.
Yeah. Sure.
It's just cringe. You need to get rid of it.
Tough stuff, this, isn't it?
It is. It's horrible. It's just all horrible.
Yeah.
It's weird as well because these players aren't shit.
No.
Not to this level.
They're not League 2 level, are they?
No,
Come on.
Let's be realistic
Yeah.
here. It's easy to sit here and go, get rid of all of them. They're all terrible. They're not all terrible.
No.
Like, Rasmus Højlund's not a bad striker. Garnacho's not a bad winger.
No.
Like, Martinez and Varane aren't bad centre-backs.
No.
Luke Shaw's not a bad left-back. So why the fuck are we failing to beat Newport when we were 2-0 up?
Look at the football we're being dragged into playing as well, by the way. Have you noticed? Just booting it long. That's a good touch, though. Good pass from Garnacho.
That was just poor, that.
Yeah,
I don't know what went on there.
It's like we're not...
That's a bad header, that, as well. Look where you're
It's like
putting
we're
it.
just not taking it seriously, are we?
No.
We think if we have to look like we're trying really hard to win this,
Yeah.
then that's embarrassing. So what we'll do instead is we'll look as though we're not really taking it seriously and lose. Like, that's not the old... You can't be doing that. It's better to look like you really had to try hard to beat Newport and take the embarrassment that comes with that than fucking jog to a loss. Like, they seem to be the options at the minute. Look at this, another free shot. 20 yards out. No one's near him.
Honestly.
Like, yes, it's slightly embarrassing that you had to really try to beat Newport, but live with that embarrassment while you're in the 5th round of the Cup. Fuck me, like, let's just... we'll beat him eventually. Well, you won't beat him eventually because they're trying and they're doing stuff and we're not.
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say, just wandering
Look
through
at the
the
pace
game.
of everything, look.
Like, almost like the game's won already. That's awful, that, as well. Who was that, then?
Varane. Well done, Cobby. That's a foul.
Right, he's got to get booked for that. You can't just deliberately foul someone.
Not even given a foul.
Honestly, that's ridiculous.
But they do this, though. The refs will fucking love
It's like
this
it's
as
Newport,
well.
innit? All right,
Oh,
just let
what
him
the-
kick
what
a
did you
teenager
expect?
all
Yeah.
over the gaff.
Like there, Mainu's past him. He slides in and trips Mainu up, and
Yeah.
we get it. Well, it's already on the way out for a throw in, so just have a throw in. No, ref properly. Edge of the box. Come on,
Have a
Luke.
dig, Luke Shaw. Oh, heavy touch then. Oh, is it the post? There he is.
Well done. Anthony's right foot.
Anthony scored.
3-2. Well done. Luke Shaw did well there,
I always knew Anthony come good.
especially with his right foot. If there's something that was going to bail us out today, it was always going to be Anthony's right foot, wasn't it? Blimey.
Luke
Let's
Shaw,
get
was that
5
Luke Shaw
now.
with his right-footed shot as well?
Yeah. Let's get 2 or 3 more now. Let's not like, oh, we've got one back, we're in the lead, let's sit off. Let's batter them now. Because they can still score another.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does well look sure. Yeah, 25 yards out. sort of into the 18-yard box, right foot, bends it to the far corner. And actually, it's a decent finish from Anthony.
Good reaction from Anthony.
Because it's sort of under his body a little bit, that, and he has to kind of sort of dig it out a little bit. Yeah, he's done well there. It's an awkward height for a minute, sort of knee height as he hits it. Well done. Good finish. Crikey. Feel a bit better?
Yeah, just relieved, really. I don't want to see Eric tonight getting sacked.
No.
And I don't want to see us getting knocked out of the FA Cup. I'll be honest with you, I don't fancy our chances of winning it, judging this performance, but I still want to be in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just got to hope this is a little bit of a wake-up call. I know we say this almost every week.
I know we do, don't we?
And we're not out of the woods yet. Obviously, there's still 20 minutes to go, whatever.
As they've got the ball in our box again, although we've won it back there.
But
it's a poor ball, that. From Dallow. Substitution there for Newport. I know obviously there must be to a certain regulation, but the floodlights don't look particularly bright, do they?
No.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I went to watch Blackpool versus Exeter.
Yeah.
At Bloomfield Road. And
Dallow looks dark there, sorry.
Blackpool were winning 2-0.
Yeah.
And it was getting dark, and they didn't put the floodlights on. Because he was just like, we're winning, save a bit of dough.
Yeah, that's great.
Like, for the last 10 minutes, it was in the dark. I was like, how have they got away with this one? Do you know what I mean? Like, no one pulled them up on this. It's still, like, obviously, third tier of football, whatever, but it's still a professional game.
Not bothered.
Yeah, won't bother. Do you know who scored for Blackpool that day?
DJ Campbell.
Trevor Sinclair.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow, when was this?
93. 92.
Wow,
it was when United were bottom of the first ever Premier League table. I went to see my mate in Blackpool. I went and watched the game with him.
It's a nice pass. Anthony
getting booed. Love that. Oh, that's poor.
All the way, although Bruno wins it back. Oh, well done. Oh, my God. So many bad touches
On
today.
a bad ball as well, Alejandro. What are you doing there, kid?
Casemiro's going to get a book in there. So many bad touches from United players today. Garnacho there. After a bad touch from Højlund as well. There's a definite book in this, Casemiro.
Just
trips him up, doesn't he? No, don't hurt him, but gets him.
Reminded me of that one at Palace. Remember that one at Palace? Was it on Zaha? We just blatantly, he needed to, if he got booked, he missed the Arsenal game. Yeah. Remember? And it was like, for fuck's sake.
Just dived in for no reason. We lost the game.
We drew, but you got...
Yeah, lost the Arsenal game, I meant.
Yeah, oh yeah. We needed him really, didn't we?
Was it 2-2 that Palace game?
1-1, I think.
Right.
Wan-Bissaka saved us at the death, didn't he, when he tackled
that tackle on
Zaha was like, as soon as I saw it was Aaron, I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And Casemiro missed that sitter as well, didn't he? Like 3 yards out on it. It's like, my God. That was when we were flying going into that game, weren't we? We won like 10 on the spin or whatever it was.
Bastard.
Dizzy heights.
Let's get another 1 or 2 now.
Go on, Garnacho, you're in here, son.
Find him. You got to pass back.
He didn't even pass then.
No, he didn't.
He just lost it.
Well done. Højlund. Garnacho's got to find Højlund there.
No, he's too greedy, man.
Højlund's
he's got to get out of that. He's got to get out of that mindset. I know he's a good player, but he's got to stop doing that.
Like there, that first touch, just pass it in, pass it to him, play it in, put it in behind. He does well, really well, Højlund actually. And then Bruno goes straight at the keeper anyway, that shot, but... Push Bruno.
It's proper old school defending, isn't it? It's like, you're getting away with that on this game.
Yeah.
That was a Premier League with VAR. People are calling for a penalty.
Would you make any changes last 15?
No, I'd stick with it, man.
Yeah.
I really would. I know, I get your point about McTominay. Maybe you could do something like that, but I think if it's 3-2, I may just say stick with it. Just keep going. It's just been another frustrating afternoon on it. I know it's not over yet, by the way, but
What's happened there?
what's he doing?
What?
A foul?
Free kick to them? What for?
Jesus Christ.
What was that for?
I've no idea. I don't even think he knew.
Bizarre, that. Probably score from this now.
So bad, isn't it? So bad.
Look at that, look at the space. Won the ball in our box here, and they're going to score. Oh, my God.
Oh! Should have threw himself on that then.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think he just hesitated.
Yeah, he did.
That was his golden chance. Yeah, Bruno counter-attacking now, running down the left-hand side. Last little through ball there.
Go on then, go on, Nacho. Just playing 1-2s, them two. Mainu. Corner. Very congested in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And not a lot of movement off the ball either, really. A lot of people just sort of stood there waiting for the ball to arrive. And then you give it to the next one, and he does a little run
Get
and
it
tries to
in.
find it someone.
Yeah, you're right. Get it in. Get Varane or someone on the end of it. Just get this game done. United have had 5 corners to Newport's 1.
Get in. Come on, man. It's good, that. Really good, that. Corner to United.
Decent corner.
Straight to the
The
keeper.
keeper's come out. I thought it was decent, but he's come out and collected that.
Stocky lad there, keeper, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And he's taking his sweet time getting this ball out. He's been all on ball for about 20 seconds. Come on, ref!
Does he know he's losing as well? Someone had a word with him.
It's weird, isn't it? Because they're not even like sitting back and trying to hold on and then like a late counter attack. They're just playing normally and doing
Well done, Kobe
quite
Mainu.
well with it.
Garnacho on the left-hand side here. Edge of the box. Luke Shaw.
Oh,
No
it's
one
behind
there.
him.
Just behind him on it.
Now we keep doing that.
I know.
Like the quality of the crossing has been shocking from United
Abysmal.
today.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. They aren't the crosses that just are going into empty space.
Did well there, Martinez. Little touch and United are on again here.
Yeah.
Kobe Mainu.
Ridiculous. Nice. Mainu looks like he's got all the time in the world when he's on the ball.
I know. It's mint and it's also embarrassing
Yeah.
because it's like he looks better than those around him.
Lovely
That's a
pass
ball as well into Garnacho here. Just getting inside the box. Garnacho.
Tame.
Poor shot.
I think he comes inside here, and obviously he's never going to pass it. But I think there's a Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box, completely open there. So he just laid it across.
Do you know, like, he does that all the time, like constantly. I think they have a word and say, like, look, get your head up. Because it's like every game.
Yeah,
You seem to be saying the same
for
thing.
all of our wingers.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like they play like, do you know when you're a kid and you're like, well, I did all that, so that sort of grants me a shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've skinned my man, so now I get to have a shot, and you
Yeah,
can't be
yeah.
mad at me. You can't say that I should have passed it because I've skinned him, so it's my chance now. Like, I think you got to do the right thing every second, not just like, oh, I skinned him, so the fact that you were stood there with no one on you, and I've got people closing me down, I took him on, so I get to shoot now. You can't think like that.
No.
You've got to cut inside and go, what's the best thing now?
Yeah.
You don't get like, oh, I get to have a shot because I skinned my man. Like, I feel like we do that too often, United players.
Yeah, we do, and it always surprises me. Like, you see it constantly every game.
Yeah.
Like, I always think, like, when's it going to be? Like, no one chat to them and go, look, I get if the shot's on, it's on, but also if someone's in a better position, pick them out
Yeah.
because it just seems to be a never-ending trait. And it's costing us goals in games, man.
They all do it. Anthony does it, obviously, cuts inside on his left foot.
Yeah.
And if it's open, he'll always take it on.
Yeah.
Rashford does the same. He cuts across. And no matter where Højlund or Bruno or Garnacho or wherever anyone is, he ain't passing it to him.
No.
He's having his shot. And Garnacho there, he cuts inside. Bruno's free. And but I've earned my shot now. I just think we need to assess what's going on all the time. And do the right thing all the time.
Coming on, by the way. I think it'll be McTominay for maybe Casemiro or maybe Mainu. I wouldn't want to see Mainu come off, to be honest with you, if I was given a choice.
Casemiro's not played 90 minutes in about 2.5 months, though, has he?
We've seen a couple of challenges where he looks a bit goosed.
Yeah, and he's on a booking as well.
That'd be the fucking final irony if he got sent off against Newport. Bloody hell.
Crossing for Newport. They've won the header, but it's a foul. He's pushed Mainu over there. And it was a foul as well. He's been good though, Mainu again.
Yeah, he just is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just not an issue, Kobe Mainu.
No.
He's probably the only real bright spot this season.
Yeah.
Like, what has been a bright spot this season for United in our season, in our story, in the narrative of the season, in the squad? Nothing really.
No, him.
You know, you've had some good goals, like Ganacho scored a good goal, whatever, in the Champions League, but nothing where you go, that's been great.
Yeah.
I think Kobe Mainu, being as good as he has been, is the only bright spot this season.
Yeah, I completely agree. Seen him slightly further forward as well. Look, Casemiro dropping in deeper.
Luke Shaw, man, that's just so lazy.
Well done, lad.
I mean, to be fair, we've won it back, but bloody hell.
It took that.
Garnacho here.
Anthony. Can't get the fucking ball out from under his feet.
Fucking hell. I'm sorry, but come on. It's so shit, that, from both of them.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Messing about and taking one touch too many.
Is that Camboala coming on as well?
Right, so Casemiro off for McTominay.
It makes sense, doesn't it? He's not played for 90 minutes in 2.5 months, so no problem with that. Is that Willie Camboala? I can't see his face because
I think 53 is it him, I think.
It's not anyone else on that.
Nah, I think it is. I can't say. I don't know, actually.
See,
it feels like the screen's just blank when it's not.
Yeah,
it is Willie Camboala, isn't it?
I think just the lights are really low everywhere except the pitch. Like, you couldn't even see Ten Hag's face when
he's on for Shaw, by the way, in case you're wondering. Was it Shaw, wasn't it?
Yeah. Again, not played a lot of football, has he?
No, makes sense.
Yeah. But it looks as though Camboala's gone right back, Dallow's gone left back. In the absence of Luke Shaw there. God, come on.
Fucking hell.
For what?
This is so shit.
Free kick to Newport. What is it? Touchline, 35 yards out. Good position for a cross. Just clear it. Just win the header and get it out. Don't mess about with this. Like, what's happening here? They're making a sub Newport. Yeah, 2.
Something's happened.
Game's paused. Something going on. I don't know if it's a medical thing. It looked like it potentially.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's a pause in the game.
Yeah, look how dark it is, look.
I know.
Hopefully everyone's alright, obviously. Feels like it's happening a lot of this at the moment, doesn't it?
What, like little pauses and medical emergencies? Yeah, definitely does.
I don't know if it was ever like it used to happen more, but it wasn't made a thing of.
Yeah.
But it seems like every couple of weeks at one level or another it happens. I mean, that goal from Newport, their first one, bit of luck to it, but brilliant shot. Yeah, people say medical problem in the crowd, but I think I'm not sure if anyone's if that's a guess from everyone or whether that's confirmed. Someone says, is it a replay or is it pens if it's a draw? It's a replay, so we go back to Old Trafford and play the game again. Neil Edwards, where do we even go from here? I mean, just drive back to Manchester. I feel embarrassed. The fact he hasn't given Ahmad a go is ridiculous.
I know.
Josh Lemon says, Hoyland must be fuming at Garnacho today. So many unseen great runs from Rasmus. Garnacho with his head down all day. There has been a bit of that, in fairness, from both sides. But I think, in particular, Garnacho should have done a better job at times of finding his man. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think, everyone's talking. I think you just mentioned it. Sorry, I was just looking there, line, everyone going on about Hoyland going mad at Garnacho and screaming at him.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, apparently it's what everyone on Twitter saying that Hoyland was going berserk at Garnacho. Listen, Hoyland at times today has sort of dawdled a little bit on the ball, but the service he's had has been poor.
Yeah.
And it must be so frustrating. You go back to that Bournemouth game, I remember when it was it Delo who hit it into the side netting when Hoyland was there, and you think he's had a lot of that.
Yeah. Still attending to this emergency, but it looks we're back. Are we playing on now? Because the players have sort of lined back up again as though they're about to take the free kick now. Stood outside. How cold is it? 5-6 degrees. I wonder how long they wait before the players come in for a minute. You don't want them just stood doing nothing, do you? Hopefully everyone's alright. Do you think the coaches should be like telling them to do something to keep warm here? Because everyone's literally just been stood in the exact same position for about 4 minutes.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what that idea is here. It's like, are we expecting it to restart any minute?
I guess so, but
the referee looks. There you go. Ten Hag having a word with Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah.
He's probably having a word with him because he's the only one who'll fucking listen to him.
Yeah.
I think the ref just said to him, right, come on, get on with it now.
Right. Hopefully.
I'm saying this all because every time I get a message, I think it's going to be some sort of goal notification.
Yeah, okay, the game's carrying on then. Free kick, Newport, deep to the back post, over hit it really, but I think they'll keep it in. And it's out for a goal kick. Didn't quite keep it in and didn't keep it out for a throw either.
Thank God, over hit. I don't trust us defending it, to be honest with you.
Isn't it mad that we do this every week? Just make it difficult.
This?
No,
United?
This is mad, but also the fact that United make every game difficult, no matter who the opposition is. We're never comfortable. We never just batter anyone.
No. It's just, it is weird. Like, look at last season, and he's thought, right, okay, this season, it's going to be better.
Yeah.
And it's just been so much worse. Martinez, that's a bad ball from him, to be fair. He didn't do it very often, but he did then.
Yeah.
It's just been poor, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's so few games where you can look back and go, that was a good win.
What have they been this season for you then? What have been the good performances this season?
The second half against Everton, away.
Yeah.
Oh, well, man, the game. I'll go Everton away.
Okay.
Just say Everton away.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace in the Carabao.
Yeah. Against their Resis.
The second half against Copenhagen in the Champions League, where we saved the last minute penalty to get the win.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing one.
I thought the first half against Tottenham away was very good. I know it was 0-0 or whatever, but I thought we played well and we were the better team by a mile.
Some changes going on as well, by the way. Martinez and Anthony have come on, off, I should say, for Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I think that's
and Forson, is it? Who else has come on? I'm trying to think of any others. In terms of performance, I know we've had wins. Obviously, it's not like we haven't won any games, but I'm talking about performances where you go, that was a really good game, that really good performance. There hasn't been many.
No.
Like, even some of our wins have been frustrating.
Yeah, like the Wolves one and then the Forest one.
Yeah. Chelsea at home was all right, even though it was a little bit frustrating at times.
Have a shot at Newport. Oh, they're not. Hold on.
It's not a great performance, so it's just I'm struggling, bro.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Chelsea was okay.
Yeah.
Look at the space he's got there to put the ball in.
Bloody hell.
Well done, Bruno. That's a booking as well, that. Pull it back, book him. He's pulling him back there to stop him counter-attacking. Book him.
I know, it's just like, plucky little Newport,
know.
allow it. Like,
Shut
no,
up.
don't. Like, get him in the book.
It's clearly a booking, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he's getting man of the match, or
He
player
is.
of the match, I should
Bruno.
say. Forgive me. Player of the match, Bruno Fernandes. Seems
been
about
good.
right, to be honest with you.
Crikey.
I might have been tempted to give it Mainoo because I love him, but
Yeah. I think Bruno, I would agree with Bruno, I think.
yeah.
Both managers screaming instructions from the touchline.
It's absolutely ace that we're going to be hanging on against Newport.
If we can even hang on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Keep the ball. Scott McTominay dispossessed there.
Brilliant.
Scrappy. Bruno gives it away as well. Then half wins it back. Newport through hard midfield here. Shot from 25 yards. Oh,
I thought that was flying in then.
I think he
Hey.
watched it wide by India, in fairness.
Evans, is that the
The milk boy.
the milk maiden?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. The Dairy King.
Hey. Look at that.
Good shot. But in fairness, Baindy's covered it. And
Yeah.
he's not covered it, but he knows it's going wide.
9 minutes of added time.
Blimey. It's not that far wide, is it? No, Baindy knew he had it covered, I think. I always love it when they do that. They're on about this guy, Evans, and he's like, oh, he's played really well. And then they can't help but say, destined for bigger things.
Yeah.
Like, trying to sell their best fucking player for him while the game's still on. Come on, let them enjoy this guy playing for him if he's that good. On to bigger and better things. You know, Newport won't be able to hold on to him, the tiny, pathetic little shits. Like, can you let them enjoy their best player?
I know.
We're going to start saying that about United players soon, aren't they? If
Yeah,
anyone has a good season,
Mainoo
it'll
will be the
on to
first
bigger
one.
and better things.
Yeah. Where you going there, lad?
We're just forcing it.
Oh.
We're just forcing it. We're not taking it properly seriously. We're trying
No,
to just
we're not.
run it ourselves. Garnacho there. There's no space to run. Find a pass. Look at this.
This is so scrappy. I've never seen anything like it.
They're overwhelming us. Look at this, look. Edge of the box, is it? And deflected for a corner for Newport. We'll score this.
This is amazing. That 30 seconds of football there is arguably the worst bit of football I've ever seen in a game involving Manchester United. It was like watching, I don't know,
There were twice as many
Pentonville
tackles.
prison
Yeah.
fucking reserves.
There were more tackles than passes.
Yeah. Because everyone's just flying in at tackles and missing the tackle
Yeah.
and then missing the pass. It was shockingly bad.
Corner to Newport. Decent. Back post. Maguire heads it. Did he head that to India then?
That was very risky. I mean, he got away with it, but is that what he did then? Let's have a look.
Oh, it was
No,
their
I
player.
was about to say that was a strange thing to do, to
Yeah.
head it back to your old goalkeeper.
So it was a Newport header.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I don't think he has got trackies on, has he, behind there?
What's he got, shorts?
I
and
think he's
long
got
socks?
shorts and those, like, Alisson Becker type.
Come on,
Tights.
Bruno. Don't knock it back over
mate.
your own head.
Go on, Maguire.
Well done.
Where's Newport? Is it Wales?
Yes.
So this is technically a European fixture for us.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've still got European football,
Yeah.
which is good.
That's
On
nice to know.
foreign soil. Exactly. Right, he sliced that. Win that.
Go on, Harry.
Well
Go
done.
on, Harry. Well done, lad. Yes. Here we go. Yes! Yeah! We put the game to bed against Newport.
Good lad. Well done, Hoyland. Well done, Forson as well, and Bruno did well there.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well done,
We
Rasmus.
can breathe easy now. Hopefully. Well, you never know with this team. There's
No.
still 5 minutes to go.
2 goals in 5 minutes isn't impossible. Hoyland with the 4th. We're making it look easy, Jay.
Hey.
Aren't we? What do you know?
Deserves a goal, Hoyland. He's
Yeah, he
ran
does.
himself into the ground. He's had no service. And he's battled as well.
Yeah, good ball
Just
from Garnacho as
onside,
well there.
yeah.
Forson's a bit unlucky, and Hoyland just scrappy taps it in. Well done. I think, is that his first shot of the game?
Oh, yeah, he's unlucky. He falls. He does well.
Well done, Rasmus. Good lad. 8 goals for the season. Instinctive finish. Sure. I love that instinctive finish, like, you know, back from it through the ancient human history, back from Neanderthal into. These are the sorts of finishes that kept this species alive as we expanded from the sub-Saharan continent across the whole world. It is these instincts of putting the ball in back of net that kept this species at the top of the pyramid. What fucking instincts puts a ball in the back of a net? He's a footballer who's learned to do it. Instinctive, that.
Here we go. Turn the screw.
Come on now. Make it 5. We want 5.
Yeah.
Back to Bruno. Go on, Rasmus, you little blighter. Too much.
Got giddy then.
Again, though, trying too much in it. We're all they're all guilty of this. Like, if I get the ball anywhere near the edge of the box, I'm just running at everyone, and hopefully they're so shit they let me get a goal. That is it, isn't it? That's been our attacking output for most of the game. There was 2 spells where we looked like we're overlapping, we're pulling the ball back, we're trying to make chances like that, and then the rest of it's just been whoever's got the ball 20 yards out tries to score by themselves over and over again.
The way them floodlights are, it keeps looking like you're watching the game through binoculars, you know, because it's like
like in a like a
that.
Yeah,
It's
like a
mad.
1950s film where to show its binoculars, it's got the thing on it like that.
Hey.
Sort of Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, one of them ones.
Yeah. Christ.
To be fair, it's not every day you see a 6-goal thriller in a European tie.
Yeah, and it has been thrilling.
Aye.
Just get it out. Just
Love
clear
this.
it, lads.
Love this. Johnny Evans is coming on. He's living a dream, innit, Johnny?
Yeah.
Back at United. Looked like he was going to be here for 2 games in friendlies, and then he got a year deal. Lovely lad. Great guy. And he's having a good season, to be fair with him.
He has. He is.
Yeah, you know, not getting carried away. He's been good.
Yeah, Evans on for Varane. Look at that. Resting players in the 97th minute.
Hey.
That's how comfortable
a
we've been.
4-time Champions League winner comes off for a 3-time Premier League winner.
It's not 3 bad, is it, mate?
Hey, levels.
Look at that. Resting players for the final 60 seconds. It's called winning comfortably, guys. Get used to it, okay? I know City take players off at half-time because they're 5-0 up.
No.
We take you off on the 97th minute.
Yes.
Okay? You're not getting injured playing that many minutes, are you?
I love the fact, right, that no one is going to be happy with this win.
No.
I can't wait to... Oh, that's like... Scott McTominay there. Is he not getting booked for that?
Gotta be.
He's done well there. Everyone's going to be like, stay at this club, finish club, Ten Hag out. I'm done with this. Finish manager.
Yeah.
That's as yellow a yellow card as I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And he didn't get one.
Free kick to Newport. Is it bad that I sort of want them to score?
Yes, because there's a minute left, Joseph, and they might score and then get another one.
No!
Like, they could score, we could go down the other end, like the referee's added on another minute for all the celebration and everything, and they could get an equaliser.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like,
I just want it to be a bit funny.
I know.
Now, they missed this, we go the other end and score. One from the training ground. Ooh, by India almost ripped his own face off on the post there.
That would have been hilarious. Well, not hilarious, because I would have felt sorry for the kid,
Hilarious.
but yeah.
Caved his head, stoved his own head in.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Look at this, look. Look, good, decent save. I'd have saved it, in fairness. But look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't see it from that angle. Bayindir lands right on the post there.
Now you can maybe get your goal. You might get away with this one going.
I don't want it to be 4-3 really, but part of me just thought it would be
they might not have
hilarious.
enough time to get an equaliser. Seeing it is practically the 99th minute now. Go on, lad.
Unmarked, edge of the box.
Oh, you're off your head, bro. That was calling for a shot there.
Hey, there we go. Full time. Manchester United 4-2 winners over Newport County. 6-goal thriller. We're into the 5th round. We will play Nottingham Forest or Bristol City, depending on who wins that game. Thoughts, J. Marty? We'll be back for the review in a minute, but give me your immediate thoughts following the full-time whistle there.
Yeah, I mean, it probably raised a few more questions than it answered.
That's
I think
what we do.
there was an element, like you flagged it up in the second half there, where it's like we were sort of strolling because we thought, oh, it's only Newport, and we had that attitude towards it. And to a certain degree, it might have been right, because in the end, the class did out. But it was a little bit hairier than it should have been. Yeah. But I did say I thought it was going to be 4-1. I thought Newport would get a goal, and they did a little bit better than that, obviously, and made more of a game of it than we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we're going to be back in a few minutes for the review. We'll go through this game. We'll look ahead to the next victory against Forest a little bit as well, reviewing what went right, what went wrong, all the talking points that surround a game, like you said, a comfortable victory in the end, but one that for large periods felt as though it could be a seminal moment in the career of Erik ten Hag. Yeah. Fortunately, United are comfortable winners in the end. We'll get into all of that in the review. Stay where you are, because you'll be automatically taken to the review. Manchester United 4, Newport 2, or should I say Newport 2, Manchester United 4. We'll see you in a bit.